right? And the skies were so blue, so beautiful. And I told him, I was like, look, like, give it a couple of hours, the entire sky is going to be cloudy. And sure enough, like, when we were getting out of work, it looked like it was going to rain.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Arwin, Chocolate Saiyan, Event Horizon, Flat Earth Ginger, Travis, Sleeping Warrior, and Anon. Good to have you all.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
As we didn't have a particularly slick show last time, I'm going to run through the housekeeping. Hopefully it'll be reasonably concise, we shall see. And then we're going to do an all points bulletin about the new moon. So, any signs of curvature?
No.
Oh.
None.
Nope.
Any signs of axial rotation?
Only curvatures, all these flat floors that people are making observations on now. All of a sudden, they're all curved.
R-based architecture.
Yep.
Yeah.
Suddenly we've got a load of builders with wonky spirit levels, it seems. Anyway, any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Nope.
No.
I feel no spin.
Any evidence you can have a gas pressure without a container?
Never.
No, Nathan.
What about a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No.
Hey guys,
Absolutely not.
Nope.
answer's no. I gotta catch up.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Nope.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
What about the R value itself, that presupposition of an Earth radius? Any signs of that?
Well, apparently, all architectures apply it in their design.
We
No.
need a sphere to have some R. We need a sphere. We don't have a sphere. We don't have curvature. So there's no R. There's no radius.
But the architects apply it. Rumpa said so.
Right.
What?
All spirit levels don't work.
Architects apply?
Are they serious?
What did he say they apply?
Well, he says that all floors are wobbly, basically, because you have to adapt.
Curvature?
Yeah, exactly.
The wobbly
So it's
floor
all
theory.
R-based architecture.
So I guess every project I worked on, I messed it up. Shit.
No, but the spirit level basically gives you the gravity relative level.
Cool. That's
So,
cool.
but it'll all end up automatically curved.
So now they got
See the logic
bendy
in that?
floors.
It's all R-based architecture.
I want to
Yeah,
go
so-
to my local ice rink. I reckon
can
the
build
ice rink floor is dead flat.
This is how sad it's gotten. Now we have to deal with bendy floors too.
If you
We had,
build
we had bendy water first. Now we got bendy floors. It's great.
Wobbly.
go
wobbly.
ahead and build
That's
a
even
completely
better.
flat, square floor, and the ball will roll to the center.
It's even better. Wobbly floors.
So
Yeah.
does
Nah.
that suffice as proof of R, Nathan?
Yeah.
That's a deadly
So can we do our all
silence.
points bulletin then about the new moon?
Good call.
Sure.
Anthony, have you banished just at that inopportune moment where we need you to say something?
Right.
I think he's tripped over the curb.
Hello, Earth to Anthony.
He went to get a
Okay,
brew
well,
with
I'll do
some
it for him.
chips.
So, basically, from
Let's
today...
just talk about gravity then.
Oh, maybe I won't. So from today, the moon is waning to such a degree, I think it's 11% or slightly less or slightly more, it doesn't really matter, that you can actually see of the moon. Now, over the next 3 or 4 days, it's going to disappear to completely nothing. Now, according to Coolpix P900, which is Sandra, check out her channel, she's caught it at about, I think she said 6 or 7%, maybe it was even less than that, which would be tomorrow in terms of the position. Easiest to catch it at sunrise and sunset, but basically we want people to try and catch the new moon over the 3-day period that it vanishes completely. So if you've got a decent enough camera, today is the day to get an idea, a feel, a gauge, whatever you want to call it, of where the moon is in the sky, so that you can try and get it when it's vanished without a trace, when it should be there. So that's it. So if you're a budding photographer, this is your opportunity to try and catch the moon. Familiarise yourself with where it is today.
Yeah, something like the moon shouldn't be disappearing at all.
Travis, anything to add?
Well, I can't share the photos, so I was just going to let Anthony talk. But I was able to locate the moon. I was able to get the peak of one of the houses near me with enough shade so I can get the contrast. So I got some pretty good shots if Anthony's around. Or if you want, I can just put him in the Hangout chat and someone else can pull him up.
Yeah, if someone's willing. Unless Anthony's back now, he's off mute now. So.
All right. I'll send him over real quick. Hold on.
Oh, we could just have complete dead air. Either way, it's good by me.
Nathan, what do you think about the potential weight fluctuations over the Earth, however they may turn out to be?
I don't know. I mean, my kid's screaming continually, and I'm fighting to find gaps where there's no screams, kind of hoping other people would talk. But sometimes life isn't like that, and you get 5 people saying nothing when your kid's screaming.
Shit.
Owen, what do you mean by weight fluctuations?
The whole concept that in the parent regions, scales will provide less weight with the same object.
Can you give me an example of that, like
It was brought up
location to
yesterday.
location?
It was brought up yesterday.
Arwen, I'm going to send you the photos, okay?
Oh, okay, sure.
I'm going to send them in Skype, so just watch out for them. Hold on.
It's just a silence, no one's speaking.
Right.
I wanted to know what Owen meant by weight fluctuations over the plane. Has he got any evidence of it? Is it in the north or in the south, or where is it?
Well, it's supposed to be that the weight decrease is at the equator.
Yes.
So, for example, if I weighed 10 stone in the UK, I'd go to the equator and I'd weigh, what, 9 stone? Or
Now
10.9.5 or
10.1%.
so it's a very minuscule amount then, but it is
Yeah.
measurable, yeah.
Still consistent, apparently.
Okay,
That
good
is
timing.
something.
So, Arwen's got your pictures up now, Travis. I assume these are yours, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you can just see the crescent. That's about what it looks like to the naked eye right there, and then I've got some zooms.
Are these pretty much real-time pictures, yeah? These have just been taken?
Did the last show when I was off, when I told you I was getting the shots, that's what I was doing.
Cool. Any way you can increase the size of that moon, Arwen? Can you zoom in other words?
Well, I gave him
Zoom
some.
in? No, this is on Skype.
I can do it. I can do it. Hang on.
No worries.
Oh,
good to have you
sure.
back, thank God.
Sorry, I was having a quick bath in between shows.
Oh, right.
Men can do that. Women can't, but men can. They can't dress themselves after the bath, but they can have the bath. All right. Open. How did this work before? I did it in the thing, didn't I? Just give me a sec. Slick, I know, but. All right, what I'm going to do.
There we go, Arwen.
Oh, there was another one. Oh, sorry.
That's much better. Just leave it on that a second. Sod all to it. I think the way Anthony described it to me earlier today before the shows was to say that it's not like you're losing less of it in this stage. It's just the magnitude's decreasing, like it's fading out.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's really close up.
Off.
Yeah, so I don't think I need to show it now if Arwen's showing it, right?
Yeah, you're good.
So yeah, what seems to be happening is it's losing its light. It's not as if it's because that crescent can't go missing. That crescent's supposed to still be there because we're not perpendicular behind it. So obviously
it's losing its luminescence.
Yeah, it's losing its magnitude. It's losing its brightness. It's losing its contrast. Yeah, who cares? But the point is, we all understand that if you turn the brightness down of it or the light that's received to it down, then it's going to fade out, and that seems to be what it's doing. But we shouldn't lose the crescent ever, unless it's directly behind the sun, and it never is. It's rarely like that. So it's like, well, what's the explanation? And the explanation they say is, well, it's because the Earth's atmosphere is bright or oily. No, but you need to show why the crescent's gone missing, because the crescent shouldn't go missing. So yeah, it's a case of right, okay, let's see how many ballers can actually see the moon, and obviously none of them are going to see it, and none of them are going to accept that there's any issue there. But we'll all go, yeah, there is, idiots. It's an issue.
Good pictures, Travis, considering you literally took them in the last 5 minutes.
Indeed.
Yeah. It's hard to get a good contrast when there's not enough light. When you zoom into the moon, it washes out, which is why I had to get the contrast on the house.
So yeah, just to summarise, if you're a budding photographer, immediately, if you're in the States, go out, check out where the moon's position is, try and get a gauge of it, and then over the next few days, see if you can replicate it, see if you can get another picture of it, and ask yourself the question, where the hell's it going?
Yeah, and why can't we see that arc, that crescent? Because we should see it. It's not allowed. Matt says the moon needs a recharge 3 days per month. Yeah, it can be interpreted two ways. It's either passing behind the sun, and the sun's receiving its light from somewhere else, or it's It's running out of its chocolate. I'm going to mute you, dude, because you're distractive.
Anybody? Yeah. Okay.
Yo.
So again, Anthony, without using the degrees and percentages, the only reason why we wouldn't see the moon is if it's in a direct line with the sun. If
Correct.
It's off the ecliptic, if it's off the path of a linear line to the sun from our viewing angle, we should always have an exposed degree on the surface of the moon.
Correct. I mean, it's supposed to be about 5.2% at the minute, and look how much we can see of the moon. I mean, I know it's not getting. I know there's not a lot left, but you can see that 5% gives you enough to be able to see comfortably. You drop that down to 2, 1, 0. Even at 0, you're still going to see the outside of the moon because 50% of the moon receives its light, 50% receives darkness, right? You are still going to see that edge because the edge is still there. Now, when it's not on the ecliptic, when it is on the ecliptic path, but like 5 degrees away from the sun, that's a problem because that crescent is receiving significantly more angle than what it would be if it was close to it and it was like crossing the sun. So it's like that crescent's got to be there. You can't just explain it away with a bit of maths. So, as Event Horizon spoke, let's see what he thinks of this because I've not heard him speak yet.
Hello, buddy. All right. This moon thing's fantastic. It's going to disappear, and they can't explain it on the heliocentric model, mate. It's something that we've all got to be paying attention to. I was trying to look for the moon earlier on my way back from town, but it was too sunny and too cloudy, so I couldn't get a quick glimpse of it to locate it. But yeah, I'll be looking out for it, mate, for sure. If I can help out, I will.
That's what we need to know. We need to know, can anybody see it? Ideally in America, along the European latitude, or in Australia, because that covers like half the globe. And there's nobody that should not see it on their model. There should be people that see it because of the angles. We're 4 times bigger than the moon. So one side of the Earth, maybe not. The other side definitely should be seeing it. And we all know what's going to happen. Nobody's going to see it. So they're going to have to bring out some maths to explain it. And it's just nonsense. You don't need maths to work out that the sun and the moon, unless they're passing directly in a straight line between the observer and the sun, then yeah, you may not see it all then. But any other part, you should see it. And we don't see it for 3 to 4 days. And I think that's ridiculous. And the ballers literally are just going to go, oh yeah, hand wave dismissal. Maths. No. We should see it, guys.
Yeah, but the whole issue is your 3 days, right? So that's the thing that we're going to be aware of right now for the next 3 days. We're going to be looking up into the sky, and I'm going to be documenting everything that I can get. And so again, think about it. If the moon was closer to the horizon by 5 degrees, so it's not very high, we could then explain away because the reason why we can't see it is because its transit or its circuit has taken it beyond the angle of incidence. But it's 50 degrees up in the sky right now. There's no way in the next 3 days it's going to be changing 50 degrees and moving out of our angle of incidence. No way.
Yeah. Well, it's an issue, and the ballers will all ignore it, and they'll just go, yeah, everything else works, so we can turn a blind eye to it. And we're like, well, actually, these are our arguments. It's like, yeah, you can ignore our arguments if you want, but it doesn't change the fact that moon's gone missing, and it shouldn't do on your model, and you guys ignore it. So we can just laugh at you for it. It's fine. And let's focus on people like, like Slice Barkane or whatever, challenging Bob. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, Sly's challenge to Bob is interesting, right? But it's not fundamental to the to the narrative that you guys push us. Whether an EQ telescope works the way that they say it works on either model, it's kind of begging the question, because if sphere, EQ mount will do this, EQ mount does this, therefore sphere. Oh, well, it doesn't work on a flat Earth model. Well, let's see how Bob deals with it. I'm pretty sure he'll deal with it pretty comfortably, but will Sly remove his channel as he said he would? Definitely not. But it doesn't change the fact that moon goes missing, and it shouldn't go missing on your model. So looking forward to the nonsense rhetoric from people like Rumpus. I thought Rumpus has survived longer, to be honest, but shout out to Rumpus anyway.
Why did you think it's shout out longer when 5 separate occasions he ignored me saying that this effect happens before we reach the floor, therefore it can't be obstruction from the floor, only for him to reassert that it's the floor obstructing it?
Well, he's normally better at obfuscating the truth, isn't he? He's normally able to obfuscate it for longer, so it's either us getting better or him getting not as good at obfuscating.
Well, that was about as weak as it gets, and it really does demonstrate, in my opinion, this really does demonstrate the zealots that we're dealing with, when they literally have to assert that the floor is also curving. It's like everything's curved. You're religious bonkers mad.
Yeah. I mean, I got M. Scott Veach to admit that the floor that you originally did it on with the nursery guys and the table tennis, he admitted that he thought that the floor was concave.
So speaking of the moon, I can see it right now. It's crescent. So what are we supposed to do?
Well, concave would mean there was even less obstruction from the floor then.
You know, as far as using that floor, what if you get one of those laser pens and lay it down on the floor that shows on the other end of the wall? You know, they're fairly inexpensive, and it would show that it's level.
Well, we can definitely assert that it's not curved, right?
Absolutely.
Right. I think
that's what Scott Veach thinks it is.
I'll just say it once more because I don't want it to get lost amongst you guys. There's no need. Before the floor is reached, this effect is happening. So it absolutely makes sod all difference, the shape of the floor. The target in the distance, which is why I say angle of attack. What are you attacking? Well, the thing you're actually looking at in the distance. The floor is kind of irrelevant because the angle between you and that object is what's going to cause the thing to disappear from bottom up when you reach a limited angle. Now, you could achieve that on a hill. It makes no difference. It doesn't matter what causes the angle to be limited. It doesn't matter if the floor's straight, triangle, going at a massive angle. Who cares? All you need is a limited viewing angle. If you get that limited viewing angle, you will see things disappearing because they don't have enough angle to resolve the data in that tiny bit at the bottom. And depending on how small or how much of that item fits in that angle will dictate how much is disappeared from the bottom up. So who cares how flat the floor is? The angle's what's causing things to disappear, and it's demonstrable before the floor's reached.
Just to let you know, somebody jumped in and asked what to do about the crescent moon. We just want you to be keeping an eye out on it. You know, if you want to document your location and the time, that's, you know.
Okay, so it just passed. It just went behind the cloud right now. But I was just sitting here. I looked up and I just serendipitously saw it.
Well, let me rephrase what Travis just said because he didn't really do it justice. For the next 3 days, between 3 and 4 days, nobody anywhere on the Earth will see the moon, including you. So the question is, why does it happen on the model? But to validate the claim, just keep an eye on it for the next 3 or 4 days. It's always going to be close to the sun because it's the end of one lunar cycle and it's the beginning of another lunar cycle. But good luck in trying to find it because it's got if you look at the sun, the angular size of the sun is about one half of 5 degrees. So it's going to be within 5 degrees of the sun if you use the sun as half a degree. So it's going to be within 5. I don't know exactly where it's going to be, but the point is you're not going to see it for 3 days. And it's not just you, it's everybody on the planet. Now, if the Earth's supposed to be 4 times bigger than the moon, we all should see it at different angles and we should see different amounts of it. And we could argue about how much we're seeing. We could argue, is it 1.6% over 1.9% and stuff like that. But that's not going to be the argument. The argument is going to be, well, why does nobody see it anywhere on the Earth for 3 to 4 days? And on their model, the heliocentric model, it does not go missing ever, apart from on the moment of transit where it passes right in front of the sun.
This is documented in Jewish religion as well. They're not allowed to start celebrating. I can't remember the name of the holiday or the celebration or whatever it is, but I do know that they're not allowed to start celebrating until they see the new moon because it goes disappearing for 3 days. So that is documented in kind of religious texts. And people do notice that it goes missing. And they wait for it to come back, and they're not allowed to do anything until they see it in the sky.
Isn't that the Passover?
I think it's something like that, yeah. They have a lot of holidays that are moon-related, when they can see the moon when it's full, and in this case, when it disappears. So it might be interesting just to have a quick look to see if any Jewish holidays are corresponding over the next 3 days.
And I've heard before that the lunar calendar is much more accurate. So why do they go with the solar calendar if the lunar calendar is much more accurate? Is it just to confuse?
Yeah, you'll have to check out Crow on that. Crow does a lot of commentary on how they've screwed with our system of time by moving away from the measurements of the sun and the moon.
Have you guys seen the Flat Earth Smart series on YouTube?
No.
What channel?
No, I've not seen it.
It's amazing. I love this guy. I've watched his. He has he's not a regular. He doesn't post a lot. The content is stale. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to him. But just Google Flat Earth Smart and go to YouTube. And there's a video series called the Flat Earth series. And the first few 6 videos are kind of like, hey, you're a flat earther, welcome, yada yada. But then towards the after they about then in the ephemeris.
Breaking up pretty bad.
There's a holiday called Rosh Kadesh. It starts on Thursday.
I bought one off Amazon. I forgot what.
What was that, guy?
Anyway, relative position of the sun. I just don't remember if he's talking about the moon going mist. It's a great series to watch.
I don't know about anybody else, but he broke up very bad.
Yeah, he was breaking up. Me too.
Yeah, nothing.
Is it better? Hold on.
What's happening?
Okay. Is it better?
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah, that's better.
I was using a headset. Sorry. So the series is called Flat Earth.
Now we just lost you again.
We're losing you again, man.
Oh, I think I know why. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We could hear you say, "Can you hear me now?" But that's about it.
Okay, sorry. So I don't know how much you heard, but did you hear the YouTube channel?
That is so weird. He cuts out right at the opportune times. Like,
why is it doing this? Let me try to find a better spot. Hold on. I'll come back in a few minutes.
Or just like this, just stay close to the mic.
No, don't stay too close. You'll be eating it like Arwin does.
Is it better?
He does. Arwin pops more than Snap, Crackle, and Pop in Rice Krispies. Pop, 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 pop. Anyway,
so that's ideas forming in his head.
Let me give a big shout out to Globebusters again, because Globebusters are going to be addressing Slice Barkane's comment that apparently equatorial mounts don't work on a flat Earth. I don't really understand the claim in the first place, if I'm honest, but Bob clearly understands it, and he said that he's going to address it tonight on Globebusters. And if he addresses it, he may not do it as per Sly's rules tonight. Sly's got some narrow rules to do with modeling it on 3D Max or something. He might not do that exactly, like completely tonight. And given that the conference is coming up, I don't think anybody could really expect him to. But he'll be dealing with it tonight, and then presumably in a couple of weeks he'll come back with the animation requested. But it's interesting because Sly said he'd remove his channel if he manages to duplicate or explain this on a flat Earth model, because the claim appears to be that it doesn't work on a flat Earth model, because it can be done with one axis of rotation or something. I'm not quite sure exactly on the phraseology, and I'm not going to try and butcher it by trying to regurgitate it. But point is, Globebusters hopefully he's going to laugh at Sly tonight, and I'm definitely going to be there to watch it myself.
Oh,
is it better?
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, so far so good.
Okay, so I don't know how much.
Oh, we're getting sniped by Simon Dan.
We didn't hear anything.
I
Every
got him.
time you said, "Is this better?" we would say yes, and then you would start, and then it would crash. So.
Is it better now?
Until you want to tell us something.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Go, just
hold on, Chocolate. Hold on, Chocolate. Hello, Mapolly, is it?
Mopoy.
Mopoy. Good to have you.
Yeah, Mopoy. Sorry?
Good to have you. Thanks for joining.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Have you got anything to say, Mopoy?
Yeah, I do have a question for you. You know, on a flat Earth model, you can say that the ocean is basically flat, right?
What is flat?
Yes, on a non-specific flat Earth model, you could say that, yes.
Yep. So you should stop seeing it only because of atmosphere density. You know, the atmosphere stops it from.
No,
It
that's just
stops you
one.
from seeing it.
It's
like
one.
mountains
One
in the
element.
distance.
Hold on. It's one element.
Yeah.
Obstruction in the distance and the diffraction causing the optical slant, causing obstruction.
Sound waves and tidal bulge and swells and riptides.
That's part of it. So there are two factors at play.
So you're saying what's blocking is the waves and an optical effect.
What's blocking what?
Well,
what's your observation?
What's blocking? It's the end. Because what my point is, if the Earth is flat, then you should stop seeing it in a gradient, because the atmosphere blocks it off more and more.
It does. It does.
Yeah, not
the
a
obstruction
straight
gradient
limit.
is linear. The relation between obstruction height and distance is linear.
Yeah. Except there's a clear, defined limit. There's no gradient.
Yeah, it's called the visibility on the day.
I've got an example. I'm going to send to Arwen real quick.
Yeah,
This all sounds like really non-specific to me. What observation? Where are you? You're looking at the end of what?
Just looking out at the ocean. On a
Right. So what? You're standing. You're standing on the beach.
Aren't any waves.
So it's a relatively calm day. You're standing on the beach. You've got the sea lapping at your toes. You're about 6 foot off the floor, and you're looking at the horizon.
Yeah, that's it.
Travis just gave me a good.
And I believe if the Earth was flat, you should see a very slight gradient between the sky and the ocean, because the ocean would sort of disappear into the atmosphere, if you see what I mean.
Isn't that called the horizon?
It does.
There's a very defined limit.
It's called the horizon, man.
All right, if you
exactly. After that, optical slant happens and everything gets obstructed. And I'm presenting the image right now, if I'm correct. Yes.
So
the waves you're seeing at this watery horizon are very close in relation to the thing in the background you're looking at, and this happens every time. Every time you zoom in on that horizon, at ships or windmills or an island, the horizon of the ocean, the edge of that wave you're looking at, is actually very close by in relation to the rest of the image above that. And that's a realization you have to let it sink in.
All right, so go to the next image, Arwen. This is on the Chesapeake Bay. Okay, this was taken in the late spring on a moderate day, about 70 degrees. And I could not see the shoreline, okay?
Yeah, but that's because you're looking at mountains or whatever on the other side.
Okay, but go to the next.
You can still see a line.
Can you see the miraging image?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so my point is that in all of these images that Arwen is going to go through, I gave him 3. This one, another one, and then I zoomed in. Okay, so on this one, or all of them actually, they're 6 miles away from me. Okay, so this image that you're looking at right now is 6 miles away, and I'm at the same elevation that you'll see at the next one that I just took 2 days ago. And I can see clearly to the other side. Boom, nothing. Okay, it was 50 degrees outside, so there's a difference in temperature. And then the next one, if you want to zoom in, Arwen, you can just see, I think I zoomed in on the same one.
I can't
That's
see
a hell of a difference, man.
You know what I mean? So basically, if I want to go back in time to the spring, I would not be able to see this house. It would have been obstructed, just like you would see in the one that does have obstruction.
Okay, but here you're looking at a lake. I'm talking
I
an
ask you a
ocean, which is
question?
a lot larger.
You're now moving the goalpost. This is 6 miles away, and we're talking about atmospheric distortion. We're talking about the fact that the moisture in the air performs obstruction.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
So, Mopoi, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I sort of see your point. Okay.
So, how do you think it should look? I mean, this is you believe it's curved, right? You believe we live on a ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think it should look like? If you say there should be a gradient on a flat Earth, so
yeah,
where's the curvature on the ball?
Well, in fact, if the Earth is a ball, as you say, then what stops you, the limit of the ocean, in your visual limit of the ocean, is the curvature, because after a certain point, you can't see because it's below where you're looking at. It's blocked by the ocean and the curvature. If the Earth was flat, then you should see a gradient. Okay, so not a limit, like if the Earth was flat, clearly defined limit. On a flat Earth, you should see a gradient.
That's ridiculous. The air clarity over distance is still gonna stack. So that's absolutely never true.
Yeah, it's going to stack.
Over any distance, the air will eventually obstruct sight because of the total amount of air light is going to have to pass through.
Even if what you say is right, so how do you account for us being able to see things that should be behind the curve of the Earth, but yet can still be seen?
You're talking of those pictures in the big lakes around Chicago, etc.
Talking about plenty of pictures taken all over the place, all over the world.
Okay, well, those were explained actually, and
they were.
Yeah, it's because of different parameters like temperature and pressure. I seem to remember. It's a long time since I saw these,
so
but
does the
you can't see those all the time. It's only on specific days that you can see those.
Why is the obstruction rate not cumulative?
Wait, so just so I get this straight, so you believe that temperature and pressure can make something that's supposed to be behind the curvature of the Earth appear completely flat in front of you?
Yeah, because temperature distorts light. It does. It's a fact.
Okay.
Like, you know,
and you believe
very
it
simple
can
example. It's like
distort it
above
to the
you
point.
see, look above a road, on a very hot day, you can see places where the sky is reflecting on the road, whereas the road is flat and does not reflect. It's absolutely not a mirror. It's not a mirror, except it does do that because of temperature. In very cold temperatures near the Arctic, you can see the reflection of a boat above it, as if there was a mirror above it in the sky because of the cold temperature. Same kind of phenomenon.
Really?
Yeah.
Mirage displaced upwards. That's interesting. We've never had any observations of that.
Well, I'll try and look it up. Just wait.
Usually mirages happen at the horizon beneath things or in between.
I seem to remember it was above. It was a few years ago I saw this, but
I'd love to see some visuals.
I'm looking it up.
Mopai, can I ask you a question, please?
Yeah.
As you're a baller, when do you think you should start seeing the curve of the Earth. Say, gaining altitude. If you had a balloon at the beach, you're at the seaside, you could look out across the horizon that we were talking about earlier, and you got in your balloon, how high do you think you would have to be to see the curve on your sphere?
Well, it's just an estimation here because I'm not calculating it, but I don't know, pretty high. I think it's above 100 kilometers.
Okay.
About how much?
So,
Sorry?
hold on a second.
Above 100 kilometers.
Holland, whoa.
Hold on.
With a
Right.
balloon?
Arwen, please, mate. So, let's do a little thought exercise, yeah? Me and you at the beach like we were earlier. We've got our feet in the water and we're both 6 foot tall. I'm a little bit like Jesus and I can walk on water. You've got a pair of binoculars. Now, I walk off towards the horizon from you. Now, I'm 6 foot tall. How far do you think it's going to be before I disappear over the curve, under the curve of the Earth? Now, I'm asking you to think about it. You obviously haven't got the calculations in front of you, but I'll tell you. It would take me 3 miles, if I was 6 foot, to disappear underneath the curve of the Earth. Now, let's get back in that balloon and start going higher. Now, I live in the southeast of England. I can see France from 23 to 27 miles away, depending on the distance from it. Now, that's a coastline, not a 6 foot man who's disappeared over 3 miles. Now, we've got images all on the panel that we can bring boats back from over the curve at 6, 12, 14, 20 miles. We've got observations of distant islands at 50 miles away and the structures on those islands, lighthouses, churches, buildings, and so on. Now, your spherical geometry dictates that a 6 foot man will disappear after 3 miles of the Earth curve, yet we see things 50 miles away. But you're just about to say that we need to go much higher to see that curve.
A church is more, it's more than 6 foot, sorry. So it's not, there's no big surprise that you see it.
What? You can see a church on the island 50 miles away when spherical geometry dictates it should be well below the curve. Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
that's no surprise at all. Look, we see things because they're there. Say that again, sorry?
Yeah, you're saying that 3 miles away, an object that's 2 meters tall disappears, okay? Except 15 miles away, so which is 5 times more, you should see something 5 times bigger disappear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and 5 times 2 is 10, and houses, and especially churches, are a lot bigger than 10 meters.
Okay, I'm talking about a church that's about 200 foot tall on an island that's 50 miles away.
50? Oh, yeah, I thought you meant 15.
No, 50. Sorry, the observation of the island is 50 miles away. My apologies if you didn't hear that correctly. Now,
50.
Which observation are you talking about? That's 50.
Yeah, 50.
Which observation?
One of the Isle of Man that you got from Wales?
No. Well, if you know about the lighthouse that Nathan shows on the thing that flicks through, that was 31 miles away, and none of it should
31.
Be.
Sorry, but we're talking about distances between 20, 30, 40 miles away, not 3 miles for a 6 foot man to disappear.
Correct. We are seeing 30, 40 miles away in cases, and we shouldn't see a lot of the stuff that we can see. So
the bit on, sorry, Anthony, the bit I'm just wanting to point out is these observations are from relative sea level. We're talking about from, say, an inch, a foot, 2 foot, 6 foot, 10 foot above sea level, and yet we're still seeing these objects in the distance that should not be there on your spherical model. And you want to go higher to see this curve, where the math is right in front of you. They tell you how big this ball is, so you should be able to see this curve. The maths tell you where you should be able to see this curve, but we've all got this idea in our heads that we've got to go higher. We've got to go higher to see the curve. It's a ball.
No, it's not a ball. And the obstruction rate versus the distance is linear. It's just a geometrical deducible fact. So, yeah, whatever that is, it's not a persistent cumulative drop. It is not curvature. It is flatness. And the apparent curve or debending is purely an optical effect.
Okay,
and it migrates with the position.
Besides that, they want to count that the horizon is curvature, but they don't even count for the other axis. There's this whole other axis of curvature we should see that nobody even talks about, really. So
looks like we live on a tube most of the time.
Yeah.
I want to show something, Nathan. If I present my screen, sir, would you mind playing it?
Yeah, sure.
I've just found the optical illusion I was talking of. It's called Fata Morgana.
What about it?
So it can make things things that things higher up above the ocean. Just look it up on the internet. There are plenty of pictures.
I'm familiar with it, but what are you trying to tell me about it?
Yeah, that's those pictures.
So wait, are you saying are you saying that accounts for something appearing from behind what's supposed to be curvature of the Earth?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying.
No,
yeah,
a Fata Morgana is where you get an inverted image that sits on top of the image, the real world image, and it's like someone's put a mirror there. So you get a repetition of the boat that you're looking at upside down on top of it. That doesn't account for what we see at all. You've misunderstood what a Fata Morgana is. I'm sorry.
Well, excuse me. Look at pictures, and you can see boats flying.
We've seen that.
They are.
I got some new pictures from.
Okay, can
I got
can
some
I
new
jump in
pictures
just
from
real quick?
Travis.
Yeah, I can just jump in real quick. I can take some still shots if you want, and I can show you the same Chesapeake Bay where I have fishermen standing on the water at a distance because you can't see the boat. Okay, but that is that's the mirroring. That's a reflection. That's not obstruction due to curve. A Fata Morgana is the image that you can see being mirrored. Okay, that's not the explanation that we get for curvature and refraction. That is, how can something that is thousands of feet behind the curve, how does that get brought back up into our linear view of sight? That's a different explanation. The Fata Morgana is not that explanation.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Called terrestrial refraction. If you beg the question and assume you're on a radius-based sphere, and then when something doesn't conform with that begging the question fallacy, you then introduce another level of begging the question fallacy called 76R or terrestrial refraction to bend things back into view where you can already see them.
So, you know, when we were talking about observations at like 30, 40, 50 miles away, and you were saying that, well, you have a position that if we're on a sphere that certain things can like bring these things back into view, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you see my screen if you press the fingerprint at the bottom of the Hangout? Got some caravans on it on the right-hand side.
No, where is that? Sorry, I'm not very good at Hangouts. It's the first time I use it.
At the bottom of the screen, there's like square blocks, like picture tiles. And you can see my microphone bouncing up and down as I speak.
Okay, yeah.
All right, click on that, and it should open up with the... Can you see the pictures now with the caravans on the right-hand side?
Yeah.
All right, so it doesn't matter too much about the parameters to this. What matters is that I'm at a certain height. And when I took this video, I was originally up there for a different purpose. But once I got up there, I noticed that I could see land that I was familiar with, which is called the Isle of Man. But I also saw some other land that I considered to be floating, and it was unusual because it was floating. So I documented it, and I could observe that the land appears to stop there. But then we have this other land that appears to be floating on top of the horizon. And I didn't know what the land was. So the question that I asked was, what was the land? Because it can't be the Isle of Man, because by this height that I'm at, it's gone behind the curve of the Earth, right? It shouldn't be seen. And then we had 30 shows on this to work out what it was we were looking at. Ballers were saying it's the Isle of Man, and we were saying, well, if it is the Isle of Man, it's supposed to be behind the curve. So what's the explanation for this? And there was back and forth, and it went on and on. And in the end, we realized that it was actually the Isle of Man, but we shouldn't be seeing this because it's all supposed to be behind the curve of the Earth. So what they all said was, well, go back to the beach and get the same observation, but lying on the beach, like get it on the beach. So what I'll do is I'll just play this again for you so you can see what you're looking at. And what you to notice is that there's two humps here that looks like Madonna's chest, and then it tapers off to a point where it drops into the water, and then you can no longer see it. Yeah. So there's the two peaks of Madonna's chest, and then it tapers off on an angle, and it goes down to the water, and then it disappears into the water, and it stops. It appears to stop there. So that's it tapers off, right? Then there's a gap of water, and then you're going to see some more land, which appears to be floating. And it's just interesting because I didn't know what it was, and I'd never seen it before, but that's what I was looking at. So they said to me, okay, go back, go and get the same footage, but from the beach. So I did. And this is from the beach. This is literally lay on the beach, and you'll see the same land characteristics. Now, initially, I didn't recognize this land. This is where it tapers off, and it drops into the water at this point here. And I didn't recognize it initially. So I have to go back over the image to make sure that I'm looking at the same patch of land. And there's the Twin Peaks. Well, that was the second one. I didn't quite go far enough to get the second one, but there's the land as it descends into the water, and it plops into the water right at the very end. So now I'm expecting a gap of water. And if the land is visible again on the right-hand side, then we have a problem because this is on the beach level. And obviously now the land appears in the picture now, and you can see it, the black line along the top of the water line. I zoom into its middle of picture now, and I scan across, and I can still see the land. Now, it shouldn't even be seen from the hill that I was at before, but they all said, well, go back and get it from the beach, and then you've got an argument. So I went back and got it from the beach, literally lay on my belly on the beach, and they've ignored it. They've literally hand-wave dismissed it because reasons. But the point is we see the land. Now, we shouldn't see it from the higher point because it's behind the curve of the Earth. So what's the explanation for why it's seen from the lower point when I'm lay on my belly on the beach? It can't be seen on a sphere.
Okay, and you can see it, but it's not flatter.
Right, so that's one fair point. It is flatter. It's been compressed. Now, on a sphere, that wouldn't happen, but if we're on a flat plane, then that's exactly what you would expect as a result of convergence with the horizon.
What do you mean it wouldn't happen? If it goes, if one part of the island goes behind the curvature, then it'll look more compressed.
No, it'll look up. It'll look cut off from the bottom.
Yeah, which would give basically the same effect with the quality of that video. You can't really tell the difference.
Not to mention, it should be tilting away from us because
yeah, it should be tilting. I mean, it's 34 miles away, and the land in question is only 300 feet or so on average high, but it should be behind 700 feet of curvature. There is no way we should see it. But we can go to the beach, and you can see that's how I had the camera on it, lay on the floor. Now, obviously, I only went to where the driest part of the driest part of the sand was. But the point is that if we can see it from the beach and we can see it from the hill, then something else must be going on because the curvature is constant, right? We live on a sphere; it's consistent all over the sphere in all directions, and it falls at a prescribed rate that we should be able to observe, calculate, and repeat. But the problem is, I can see this from lying on the beach, and it's the same land. So the question is, well, why? And if you're going to argue that it's looming, then it's not a remote. It's quite a remote argument. It's not likely, given that I went and repeated the observation. I mean, it should be 700 feet behind the curve of the Earth. There should be a wall of water between us and it.
You're sure of your calculations?
Yes, very sure.
Okay.
Sorry, to interrupt there. Just 1 second.
Shout out.
Sorry, bear with me.
Shout out to
Sorry, no shout outs. Hold on. What calculations? We just see it. What do we need to calculate? We're just looking at it.
No, the fact that it should be 700 feet behind the curvature.
Sorry, I'll ask you. Did you? Sorry,
wrong,
bear with me a second.
Then you don't have an argument.
Hold on. Can you
if
just?
It's right. Okay,
sorry,
you
don't seem to be acknowledging my question. What exactly do we need to calculate, given that we just see it? I don't need to calculate anything. I just open my eyes and look at it.
No. You're saying it should be 700 feet behind the curvature of the Earth.
No,
right?
We're not saying that. That would be your globe model when you assume you have a radius, beg the question, and ignore perspective. That would be your assertion, not ours. We're taking apart your assertion.
So you just said that.
Sorry.
Yeah, but that's your model.
I didn't say it. right?
That's
This
what
isn't
your
our
model says, man.
This isn't our religious belief in a ball based on a radius that has no evidence for it. It's yours. We're taking it apart.
Yeah, okay. Okay, it's just... Yeah, okay, that's right. I don't give an explanation there.
So, yeah, you haven't answered my question. So why would we need to calculate anything given that we just see it and we can just look at it and say, there it is?
No, I was talking of the calculation for the hidden bit where you find 716.32
Nothing's hidden.
feet.
We see it. Hello? You're still ignoring my question. Why would I, a flat earther, have to look at this on screen and calculate anything? I can just see it. That's the end of my explanation. I see it. No calculations, no assuming a radius, no assuming there's a 700 bloody foot earth wall in the way. I just see it. So where do I need to make...
but there only is a problem.
I was just about to ask the question that you've avoided 3 times again, and you've talked over me. So I'll ask the question again, regardless that you can't help talking over me. Why would I need to make any calculations at all?
Well, I'm answering you, so let me talk. So, there only is a problem if it is supposed to be behind the curvature of the Earth. And you can only calculate
you've ignored my question again. Listen up. Why would I need to calculate anything at all when I can just see it?
Because, Jesus, you're trying to prove that the globe Earth model is wrong, okay? So
we're not allowed to do that.
Look, my point. I think here's what it is, right? Is that we believe that we know that the Earth is flat, right? Yeah. And then a baller like you will come and tell us that it's a sphere, and that what we're seeing is supposed to be a certain amount of feet behind curvature of the Earth, because the Earth is curved, right?
Okay.
You have a model that has a specific measurement of the Earth. That's not supposed to change, right?
Yeah.
Right. And we've been provided with calculators from you to tell us how much is supposed to be hidden and how much curve we're supposed to find.
Yeah, that's the
we don't believe in that.
I'm talking of. That's the only calculation I'm talking of.
Right.
Yes,
but we don't need that
Chocolate.
calculation.
I need to ask you my question again, Chocolate. Right. That's the only calculation you're talking of. No problem. We understand that. We understand your religious belief. We understand what Fata Morgana is, shockingly. I'm asking you why I need to calculate anything ever to do with this observation. There it is. I see it. Why do I need to start calculating anything at all?
Well, because if you only have an observation, you're not proving anything.
What, other than the fact that it's there? I can see it. I can prove it's there.
The calculation.
Sorry.
The calculation.
Sorry, you just said I'm not proving anything. It's there. What do I need to prove? It's a concrete noun. I see it.
No, just please calm down and listen to what I'm saying, okay? The calculation is what the globe Earth model says.
I get that, you stupid retard. How many times have I got to ask the same question? Why would I need to calculate anything? Not a globe-tard, retard, religious zealot like you. Why do I need to calculate anything?
The calculation is given by the globe Earth model.
Yeah, you've said that about 6 times, right? I don't believe in models. I don't live on a model. We don't live on models. That's a reification fallacy. I'll ask it again. It's probably about the 8th time. Why would I need to calculate anything?
Right, I'm not asking you to calculate, but you're giving a counterexample, proving that the calculation is wrong. Okay, so either the model used for the calculation is wrong, in which case the Earth is flat.
There you go.
Or the observation is not real, but the observation is real. It's there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but we just say it's
on
flat.
that point, you're right.
We just say it's flat, and you say, no, here's the calculation for how much curve is there, and this is why you see it. When we're like, no, we see it because it's just there. It's not being refracted,
I don't think
bounced It's not being refracted and bounced around the curvature and the atmosphere and all of that craziness. It's not doing that. It's just there.
I maybe didn't
Yeah, look at it
say
like
things
this.
properly, but I agree with you. I agree with you on that point. I can't explain why you can see it.
You don't need to explain why you see it. Why do you have to explain seeing something, right? If I hold up my mouse and say, there's my mouse, do I need to give an explanation for why I see it?
Please, just chill. I'm agreeing with you, okay?
So I don't need to give an explanation for seeing it?
No.
Why do you have to give an explanation for seeing it?
Why did I give an explanation that's true?
Given that I don't need
for me seeing it, because my model is being proved wrong.
Oh, I see, because you have a religious belief in a model. So your religious belief in the model says we can't see it, right? You've got a religious belief in a model.
So then
I think this.
Hold on, let him answer.
Let him answer. Get anything out of it?
Well, you came. My boy. You came.
I want to hear his answer.
We've given you a
counter argument. Can I say it one more? I want to hear his answer.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's conceding, and
yeah, I want to actually hear it.
He said he agreed.
Yeah, I said he didn't 3 times maybe. Okay, you won that point, and I can't explain it. I can't tell why that. So maybe in that case.
So what can't you tell?
Maybe in that case, you're right.
What can't you tell?
Why you can see it.
We can see it. There's no explanation required. This is why I'm getting short with you. You don't need to explain it. I'll ask my question again. Yeah, you're not conceding. Otherwise, you wouldn't say, I need to explain why I just see something. That's not conceding. If I hold up my mouse and it's right in front of my eyes, do I need to explain why I see my mouse? That's a yes or no question.
I see what you mean.
Well, yes or no?
Just look at it the opposite.
Shut up! I want to talk to him.
Okay.
Do I need to explain why I see my mouse when I hold it up in front of my face?
No, but...
Do I need to explain some land when it's right in front of me and I can see it?
No.
Why do you then?
Because it's a counterexample to the model. So
it doesn't fit your religious belief. You do see it just like I see it, but you have a religious belief that you shouldn't see it.
So either the Earth really is flat, or there's a problem. Except we can't tell.
What problem? Sorry, what's the problem now? Here we go again. What problem? I just see some land. Why is there a problem? When I hold up my mouse, is there a problem because I can see it? Yes or no?
Okay.
Hello? I'll ask it again. Don't stutter. Just give me a yes or no answer. I hold up my mouse. Is there a problem because I can see it?
If the usual...
It's a yes or no answer. I hold up my mouse. Is there suddenly a problem because I can see it?
No.
If I see land, regardless of its distance, is that suddenly a problem because I see it?
No.
Why did you say it was then?
It's a problem for the globe Earth model.
It's a problem if you have a religious belief. That's precisely my point I want you to concede. It's a problem if you have a preconception of a globe that would be a religious belief.
Right, but... Okay. I'll concede that. But...
Let's hear you say it. I want you to say it. I want you to say, I have a religious belief and things I see I have to explain rather than just seeing them because of my religious belief.
It's not religious, sorry.
Oh, sorry, so you can prove these things are looming and miraging around a bend based on a presupposition of an R value. You can prove that, can you? Sorry, yes or no answer. Can you prove Earth radius and that these items in these pictures are in fact not there. They're hologrammatic projections of things beyond a wall of Earth curve. You can prove that, can you?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying...
you said it's not a religious belief. I'm saying it absolutely, unequivocally is a religious belief, and I want you to concede that. Unless you can prove what you believe, it's just a belief.
All right, please let me talk. Let me say a sentence without interrupting me, please. So, you got 1 point, because I'm offering 2 options. Okay, I'm not decided. I'm not taking position on this. I'm saying either you're right, the Earth is flat, or, for example, light is getting distorted for some reason. Okay, and
Why?
it might sound.
Why would you assert this? Why? Why would suddenly light? Why is it that I look at my mouse? Okay, let's do it again. I hold up my mouse and I see it. Do I have to suddenly reconcile whether or not the light is distorted for my mouse? Hello, is my mouse a bloody hologram when I hold it up or not?
It's not absolutely not the same distances.
Oh, so suddenly with distance... Oh, sorry. Why is it that if I put my mouse 10 yards away, I have to reconcile whether or not it's a hologram?
This is just becoming stale. I don't think...
no, this is you not conceding you've got a religious belief. Suddenly, when I use the example of a mouse rather than a bit of land in the distance, yeah, I don't have to reconcile whether or not it's a bloody hologram. But when it's far away, and there should be a ball Earth in the way, then suddenly I have to reconcile it because of your religious belief. No, I just see it.
Same reference. It's not the same reference, you know.
How is it different? It's just a concrete noun. Mouse, land. Just concrete noun. How is it different?
This might not make you very happy, but I'm going to use the globe Earth model. Okay, so in the globe Earth model, which 99% of architects believe in,
I couldn't give a crap about your appeal to consensus. We're not going to beg the question and tell us how it's going to work on a globe model. We're talking about land we can see, and you're saying that's a problem. We shouldn't see it. It might be light refracting. When I give you the same example with a concrete noun, my mouse, suddenly that's different because it's closer. What's the difference? Why do suddenly things in the distance have to be reconciled? Answer, because you've got a religious belief.
No, it's...
Yes! What do you mean no? Well, prove R. Prove radius right now.
Distortion.
Sorry, you're about to use your model. I've stopped you. Right, before you use your model's based on radius. If this is not a religious belief, you don't believe in this, prove radius. Prove it right now.
That's not what I'm trying to do.
You're just about to use your bloody model that used radius, were you not?
No, I was
So
not.
you said on a globe model. So you're saying your globe model excludes radius? Are you stupid?
That was 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, okay. So you're about to use a globe model and I stopped you. Yeah? Now I'm saying if this is not a belief, prove R. Are you going to talk all over me like you've just accused me of doing? If this is not a belief, then prove the radius your model was based on. Don't laugh! Prove R!
Okay, I just want to jump in.
Shut up! Travis, shut up! Prove R! Or concede you've got a religious belief about this shit.
Why are you getting so angry?
Because I'm dealing with religious zealots who won't concede that suddenly when distance is introduced, their religious belief in a ball has to be accounted for. No, it doesn't. I see the land, it's there. No explanation required. Unless I have a religious belief asserted by you in this case. When we point out there's no need to account for the problem of seeing it, there's no need to think about light diffracting, we can just look at it and say, there it is.
Why is there no need?
Because we just see it. Do I need to explain this again? I hold up my mouse. I've got to do this for the audience. You are so stupid. I will shut you up and do it visually for the audience only. Here is my mouse. I hold it up and I look at it. Do I need to work out whether or not it's a slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena? Or can I just say I see it? Now suddenly, if we've got a distance involved, we've got a phenomena on our hands. Why? Because we shouldn't see the land. Why? because of Earth radius and your religious belief in it. Don't laugh. This is your religion. You think it's funny because you don't realise the awfulness of the truth. That's why you're laughing. It's not funny. It's a religious belief. You've come on our doorstep to assert like a Jehovah's Witness, knocking our door, telling us we need to maths things and we need to see things that aren't there. They are there. I see them. You've just got a religious belief. And until you concede, I'm not going to let you off the hook.
Nathan, listen, I think it's time for a prayer.
Radius Dominus, Gravitas Spiritus Sanctus, Amen. Go in peace, globehead retard. In R you trust.
All right, can I jump in now?
Are you going to prove R? Are you going to say it's a religious belief, or are you going to prove R?
I'm not going to prove R.
So it's a religious belief then, moron.
I'm not capable of proving it's...
Oh, well, if it's beyond proof, it's just a belief. What part of this aren't you getting, dingbat?
No, you can't... No, sorry.
No, it's not my religion. No, it's science, right?
Say, for example, you can't build an engine, therefore...
This is a red herring, distraction, non sequitur. Bullshit. You have a religious belief in radius. If that is not so, prove radius.
Oh, all right. Like real quick, I just wanna say real quick.
Chocolate can talk. Okay.
Try, man.
I'm pressing buttons over here, Travis.
I'm trying over here, man. Oh, Nathan, you're nuts, man. But anyway, look, this dude, like, at least I just want to say, at least he conceded that either the Earth is flat or there is a definite problem with his model. I don't know too much after that with all the explanation he had, but at least he's seeing that there's a problem with his model.
Right. So let me jump in and follow that up because that's the point that I was going to make, Chocolate. But my question to you, Mapoi, is why go any farther than saying the Earth is flat? Okay. So the point that Nathan is making is your commitment. That's what he means by religious belief. Okay. He's not saying that you believe in God or you're committed to a church. He's saying the way that you operate is that you are committed to something that you either don't understand or you can't prove. But when you conceded either the Earth is flat or there's something wrong with the model, my challenge to you is stop after saying either the Earth is flat. That's it, man. The reason why you would say, or there's something wrong with the model, is you have a commitment to that model you are not ready to relinquish. That's the point Nathan is making.
No, okay.
Outside of what you can see really far. Apart from that, you are told you live on a ball. Your senses tell you that you can see really far, but you are told you live on a ball.
Yeah. Right. Why I'm saying
that's where the critical thinking has to start.
Why I'm saying there's a second option is because I find there are other things that just don't fit, don't seem correct to me in the flat Earth model.
Sorry, why do you keep saying the flat Earth model? Oh, hold on. What is this crap straw man? What model? What models are you talking about? What flat Earth model?
So there are several, right?
Sorry, we haven't asserted a model. What is this straw man you are talking about? Flat Earth model. Who's asserting there's a model? The only one asserting a model here is you, with your bloody globe.
A model is something reproducible, based on observation, which explains the thing.
How long, Mapoi? How long have you been watching this show?
Not very long.
Okay. In this show, we don't subscribe to any particular flat Earth model.
Okay.
At least us
Models of pseudoscience
on this panel. Yes, sir. Exactly. We don't subscribe to any particular AE or whatever model. We don't live on a ball. That's
Okay,
what it is.
you're just saying the Earth is flat. We don't know much more.
Yes, the Earth is obviously and observably flat. Unfortunately, day after day, we have religious zealots who come knocking on our door telling us that what we see, we don't really see. It might be bendy light.
Okay, I see your point. I see your point. But do you consider that other planets and moons are round, are balls?
We can see
sky?
we can, yeah, they are lights in the sky.
Talk about the lights in the sky that we don't know what they are.
So what's the point you're making, though? Yes, okay.
Look at the telescope. You can see the moon. It's not a light. You can see more detail than just a little dot.
And?
Do you think that is round or flat?
Sorry, what does that have to do with the shape of the Earth exactly?
Because why would the Earth be flat if everything else is round?
Oh, really?
If you walk into a forest,
but everything else is a light in the sky.
Hold on, I want Travis.
So why are we
I want
not a
Travis
light
to
in
go
the
through
sky?
this. Travis, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hold on, Travis, go ahead.
What am I supposed to do?
Oh, sorry, it was someone else. Who was just talking, saying about the forest?
I said if you walk into a forest and all you observe are trees, are you a tree? If you play pool and all the balls are round, is the table round? We can go on and on.
Yeah, if they're all lights in the sky, why are you not a light in the sky?
If there are 4 tires under the car, why isn't the car a tire?
You get all those examples?
We're talking of billions of billions
of what?
Lights? Oh, billions and billions.
Have you
what
observed
Carl
billions
Sagan?
and billions?
Sorry, just let's
Come
get
on,
an acknowledgement.
Cut to
Let's
the
see how long
chase.
this takes.
Everything you're told about those lights in the sky, you are told. You
Sorry,
are
the example
told
you were given.
stories about those lights in the sky and what they are.
Just see if you can acknowledge this. We're moving past the example. So, hold on. Let's just have the example reiterated. Hold on. So, you are in a forest, and you have always lived there. You wake up every morning, and around you in all directions are trees. Does that make you a tree?
You can, well, if you don't see yourself, you can think.
It's a bit like the mouse. Yes or no answer. Are you, sir, a tree?
It's not a yes no. It's not a yes no question.
Yeah.
If
Are you a
can
tree? Yes
see
or no?
yourself- Listen, please. If you can't see yourself, you can assume you're a tree. If
So
you
you
can see
are
your
actually
hand,
claiming
please,
that in
then-
this example, yes, you are in fact a tree. Let me be the first to tell you, you complete bonehead, you're not a tree. Okay? Do I really need to tell you that you're not a tree?
You don't see yourself. Even without a mirror, you can see your legs. You can see your penis. You can see your feet.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't see yourself?
That's what I'm saying. That's the second option.
How does that happen?
Until I got interrupted.
So the answer would be no, I'm not a tree.
Yeah.
Right, jolly good, that took long enough. So given that you can stand in a tree, in a forest amongst trees, and not be a tree, why would it be the case that we can be amongst starlight and suddenly we have to be like the stars?
Arwen laughed.
The question is, why are we different?
No, I'm still here.
Sorry, the question is, why are we different? I don't know why we're different. I don't know why I'm not a tree. I just know I'm not a tree.
Yep. Why doesn't the sun have trees on it?
Because
How do you know what the lights in the
location
sky
for the
even
tree to
are?
settle on.
Why don't we have clouds around the sun or the moon? If it's the same thing.
What?
I'm just making more fallacies.
Boy, in other words, you understand why the question is ridiculous, right?
No.
At what point did you make the transition from lights in the sky to planets? Did somebody tell you?
Okay, real quick. Do you believe that man has landed on the moon, Mopoy?
I do.
Say again?
I do, yeah.
Oh.
And why don't you?
Okay.
Right.
We should have started
problem.
from there, I think.
In Houston, we have a problem.
Well, how about this? You think
Let me go gas
9/11
pressure
wasn't-
container.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's
Let's-
it.
let's-
I want to hear. Who was that? Event Horizon. Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah. I just want to know how you can have gas pressure next to a vacuum without a container. We breathe air pressure on this plane. We have air pressure. You and I breathe it.
Yeah.
Where's this vacuum from, and why is entropy not affecting the air pressure that we breathe and dispersing into the vacuum of space? Before we start talking about landing on things in this medium, let's talk about the medium itself.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, can you explain gas pressure without a container next to a vacuum?
What do you mean without a container?
Well, we breathe air pressure, yeah? Air pressure needs to press on something. That's the necessary antecedent for air pressure.
You mean the
okay?
atmosphere staying on the globe?
Yeah, how does that work? Air pressure, vacuum, no container.
Gravity.
So what's gravity?
Right, does somebody else want to take this away?
Yeah, sure. What's gravity?
Electrolyte.
What is gravity?
Gravity is the fact that the objects are pulled together.
Yeah. But
hold on. Say
it's
that
not a
again.
barrier.
Owen.
No.
Oh my God. So, objects pulled together. No, that's not the current rhetoric. Current rhetoric is the bending of space-time. What are you on about?
Sorry, what? That's not the definition of gravity.
Oh, we'll look it up.
You're talking about the Newtonian gravity,
yes, it
which
seems
is mass
you are a bit out
attracting
of date. That would be Newtonian gravity, superseded by Einsteinian gravity.
Never ending.
So, do you want to explain how the bending of space-time can hold gas pressure without a container? Maybe a demonstration of that would be great.
The bending of space-time.
All right, so there's the sun, right? There's the sun. You can see the angle there. The moon is right there.
So the question on the table is, how do we have gas pressure without a container? Your assertion that this could be possible, that the pressure isn't pressing on anything, but in fact being held by the current rhetoric, gravity. You said gravity, and I assume you mean the current standard amongst the scientific community, not some old standard that's been superseded.
Well, excuse me, but objects being pulled together.
Yes, we've just explained this. Listen again. That would be Newtonian/Cavendish gravity. That's not what is currently in effect in your ball religion. Your ball religion currently has gravity defined as the bending of space-time, as per Einstein. Did you not know this? Are you just out of date with your religious faith? Maybe contact your priest.
I do. Okay, I know that the bending.
So, the question on the table is, how do we have gas pressure without a container? How do we have gas pressure without a container? Your religion has a vacuum, and we're asking how we have gas pressure. How can we be breathing? Why isn't it all dispersing into the vacuum?
So, but how is that different on a globe or a flat Earth?
Sorry.
Hold on.
Well, we don't have
Sorry,
a vacuum of
we haven't asserted our religious belief about a moon you can land on. You're asked if you think we've gone to the moon. We know that's total lies. Now, the reason we know that lie exists is because we're breathing. Now, we're breathing gas pressure. And your religious belief, the one that necessitates men going to the moon, they've got to travel from the gas pressure into your fantasy medium of space, which is a vacuum. So, how can we be breathing? Entropy. Why isn't it dispersing into the vacuum, as would be expected?
Well, I'm saying it's being pulled towards the Earth.
It's not strong enough.
But that's Newtonian gravity. That's superseded, as Nathan has explained.
Twins.
The strength of the G constant is not strong enough to counteract entropy.
No worries. Let's give him it. So you want to use objects of mass attracting one another? No problem. Let's see if this is another religious belief or not. Can you give us a demonstration of Newtonian/Cavendish gravity maintaining gas pressure without a container? Can you demonstrate that for us, please? So we know it's not just a religious belief.
So you're saying you have something demonstrating that it can't possibly pull the gravity can't possibly pull the atmosphere towards Earth and keep it there.
That's right.
No shit. So, how do we have gas pressure?
Remember how tiny this little ball is and the entire vacuum of space. It wants that atmosphere. Entropy's a bitch.
Yeah,
Second law of thermodynamics violation. You've got an issue.
Extremely strong, violent, and abrupt.
Let's see if he concedes this one as a religious belief.
Stable strength of gravity.
Hold on, Arwin. Let's just see if he really concedes this as a religious belief or just asserts it again.
Now, I'm just trying to understand, in your belief, well, or your knowledge, as you like to call it, you think that there is no vacuum, right? The atmosphere continues infinitely.
Sorry.
No.
It is not our assertion that we have been to the moon, necessitating travelling from the gas pressure through a barrierless system into a space vacuum. That would be your religious belief. You are making the assertion that men have been to the moon. Are you now retracting that assertion, or do you stand by it?
No, I stand by it.
Excellent. So, let's carry on then with your assertion that men have been to the moon by quantifying how we have gas pressure. Why am I still breathing, given that your spacemen went into a vacuum? How's that possible? You've just said that's not at all possible. No shit. So, about that vacuum of space.
Where's the link?
Don't ask me a question. Just explain whether or not we can have the gas pressure. Don't ask me something. This is your... Listen up. Shut up. This isn't my belief. I don't need questioning. You have made a crazy assertion that men can go to the moon. Bonkers ludicrous. Because we're breathing gas pressure, and in that crazy religious belief, you've got a vacuum. Now, you've already said, that's crazy, I can't prove that. So, why would you still assert that men have been to the moon in that crazy medium of a vacuum?
I haven't said I can't prove it.
So it's just another religious belief then, is it, Dick Brain?
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you've just said I can't prove it. So, if you can't prove it, you simply believe in it.
I did not say that I cannot prove it.
Oh, well, prove it then. How can we have gas pressure without a container? I would like a demonstration of that, please. We've just gone over this. I asked you to demonstrate it. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I asked you to demonstrate it to establish whether or not... Shut up! Stop rumpusing the hangout. I have asked you to demonstrate it to establish whether or not it's just a religious belief. If you demonstrate it, we will accept that it's not just your belief. If you can't prove it, it is your religious belief. But you won't concede it because you're a religious zealot. Simple.
Okay, I see. You're saying that I can only believe that that the atmosphere is being held by gravity, and that outside there's a vacuum, only if I can prove it. Because if not, there's nothing proving me.
No, you can believe any old crap you like, Sunshine. But when you come to our doorstep and tell us that men have been to the moon, and we say that's nonsense because vacuum would suck all the pressure off, then you say, no, that's not a religious belief, I just can't prove it.
No, I'm saying I need more time to prove it. I'm saying I'm not going to do it right now.
Why should you have to prove it, though? If your priests have told you that you live on a ball in a vacuum with an atmosphere attached, surely your priests should be able to prove it. You've got 2,000 years of science to be able to back your model. So where is that hypothesis expressed in an experiment that you can deliver to us? You should be able to. This is the paradigm. We're not asking you for much. We're not really asking you to go and do it yourself. You should be able to refer to the universe and experiment sometime in history. There you go. The fact that you can't, that it doesn't even exist, is the reason why we're here.
I probably I just have to do the research, but I'm not going to do that now. You know, I don't have the time while staying on the live stream.
Yeah, it's just a question of time. Yeah, given enough time, I'm sure like every single person that has ever come by our doorstep, like a Jehovah's Witness asserting that we live on a bloody sphere, you'll be able to demonstrate gas pressure without a container, given enough time. Yeah, right.
So, but why would the whole of society...
we don't want your questions. We're not asserting men have been to the moon. We went over this, did we not?
And I'm saying I can't answer right now.
Oh, right. Well,
Yeah,
we'll
but
tell
then
you
you don't-
already,
you don't think
Sunshine.
that's a problem?
Well, let us tell
You
you.
don't think
We'll
that's a
save you the
problem that you
bother.
can't
I'll
answer
save
that
you the
right
bother
now?
of doing the research.
Yeah,
You can't
that is a problem.
have...
I agree with you.
Listen
I
up.
agree with
Listen up. You can't have gas pressure without a container. It defies entropy to have a vacuum next to gas pressure. Your space
Can you
religion
stop interrupting me when I'm speaking?
You're
It would
talking
greatly
over
help
me
the
is what you're doing.
conversation.
I'm telling you. I'm not asking you a question. I'm telling you. You can't have gas pressure without a container. That's just your religious belief in a vacuum of space where men travel to the moon. Your religious belief that you can't prove and apparently need more time. 2,000 years of this assertion isn't long enough, apparently.
Right. I'm saying that I don't have the data available just in front of me.
We're saying the data isn't there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do realize, Mopoy, that nobody has the data available, right? Every one of you guys that comes in here says the same thing. I don't have it in front of me. I don't have time to find it. Shouldn't you guys just be able to point that out to us in 2 seconds flat? Here it is. It's been proven because man has landed on the moon, and we've driven dune buggies and stuff and played golf on the moon and talked to Richard Nixon and did all that. So it should be proven in 2 seconds. You don't see that as a problem, that it's not?
No, because
all you guys have the same story, man.
Okay, because it's so commonly accepted that people don't find then there's an explanation needed.
Oh, so because it's a wide-held religious belief, because there's lots of Jehovah's Witnesses around you, that makes it real, does it? Because lots of you have this crazy idea. No, that's called an appeal to consensus fallacy.
Yeah.
All hold the globe. We don't need to explain it.
Yeah. In our you trust, because lots of other people believe it. So you don't need evidence, you just need lots of people to believe in it, do you? Wow, low standards.
No, that's right. Just prove me that you're seeing the screen.
I'm seeing it. I don't need to prove it. It's a concrete noun. There's no phenomena.
I have no proof that you're seeing the screen right now.
I don't need to prove it to you, and I don't care whether or not you believe me.
Yeah,
I said it earlier. Listen, stop talking. Stop talking. Shut up. I don't care what you believe. Listen, I don't care what you believe, so long as you concede it's a belief. Yeah? You won't do that. You go to fallacy. So after we rip apart your religious belief, you then say lots of people believe in it. So then you go to fallacy, rather than conceding you have a belief in this shit.
Okay, it is a belief.
Yes, I know it's a belief. Thank the gods in heaven. Yes, we know, Muppet. It's just a belief. We've been saying it for an hour.
Right, I see. You want me to say that it's a belief as I believe in it, not because of facts, proven, observable, repeatable facts, but because I've been told it since I was born.
Yeah, we already know that. It's nice to hear you say it, though. Very amusing, and definitely the note I'll be rounding out this show on. So with that, I'll say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible, and of course a massive thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. If you hated the show, who could possibly hate it? But if you did, I'm sure you've done it already, smash the dislike button. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I'd love to have a conversation.
Oh, and I friend requested
I
you on
know.
Skype earlier as well,
I can
actually.
actually provide you with some modeling insights.
Muppy, you have to look at it like this. Like we're taught and told things in school and the media and the entertainment on a daily basis. Some things they teach us and tell us are true. Like I was taught how to wire electricity with different wires. And guess what? I don't need data. I don't need a video. I don't need a picture. I can show you how it works because it is true. It is real. You understand? They teach us a lot of bullshit, and they also teach us
Testable and repeatable. That's what science is all about.
Yeah, yeah.
My boy,
Right. You don't believe in the pictures.
Oh.
Sorry, you were talking?
Why would we?
I was just going to say, if you wouldn't mind just trying to go into the chat, I sent you a message, and I want to follow up with you. So just check the messages for your account.
Do you mean the Hangouts?
The Hangouts that we're in right now, yeah.
Chat. Okay, yeah.
I'll
sent
put
you the
my Skype address as well.
I sent you the video that I referenced earlier about the Chesapeake Bay, but I'd also like to follow up if you wouldn't mind.
Where would I find that? Where would I find that? Sorry.
Well, again, if you go to simply if you're in Hangouts,
yeah,
and you click on your icon, you should have a notification that I sent you a message. Because I don't have any other way of contacting you. I don't know your address.
Rethinking Revelation has sent you a message.
Yep, that's me.
Okay. Right. Clicking on it, nothing's happening though.
Okay, well.
Boy, can you add me to Skype? It's ARW.
Yeah, just wait. I'm not even
YN7
yet. Because I haven't used it in years.
Oh,
so.
Well, I use it a lot.
Owen, did you get my friend request earlier on Skype?
No.
What's your address again, mate, if I may add you?
ARWYN7. So not
okay, mate, thank you.
ARWYN7. I have never added you. I see you.
Cheers, buddy.
McCoy, I'll give you this. You seem to have some sort of intellectual honesty about this stuff.
Yep.
So, and you seem to be at least willing to see what the problems are with the model that you're presenting. So, I give you kudos for that.
We know you're not a troll.
Well, boy,
that's why I want to talk to you.
If I can just jump in before I go quickly, my boy.
Any?
Is that all right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jump quickly. Yeah, cool. You came in and we took your observation apart. I.e., you can see too far. That's your own sense. Yeah, that's your eyes telling you something. That's your own personal sense. We then took you to the breathing of air pressure. You breathe air pressure. That's your own personal sense. The next one along that line, when you're talking about the ball that spins, is this ball is supposed to be spinning and going through a lot of motion. You personally don't feel that motion. So your senses, your vision, you can see far, but you are told that you should have to have a religious way out of it to assert the sphere. You're supposed to be breathing air pressure next to a vacuum. You've got serious issues explaining that. And the fact that you are spinning and you feel nothing, again, you are told this. Outside of your own personal senses, everything else is asserted upon you. And these assertions rarely come with any type of scientific proof when it comes to the global paradigm that you think you're in. And that's the hijacking of your own personal senses. So I want you to think about that, mate. That's how deep it goes. They're telling you what you see. They're giving you fantasies about the air pressure that you breathe, and they're telling you that you shouldn't even feel spin while you really, really should.
I see. Just to talk about the Earth spinning, you can't feel that motion, just like you can't feel the motion in the car that's going at a constant speed. I don't see the problem with that.
You feel it when it turns. We're orbiting in all kinds of directions.
Yeah,
velocity
just want to point out this again.
South, which
sorry
to
to interrupt, guys. So cracking point, well done event, superb, I listened along. At the end of it, not, wow, that's amazing, yeah, we've been completely lied to and none of the shit I believe in makes any sense. No, on to Earth spin. Right?
It's just, think about it. You've come in, Nathan's absolutely right. Alarm bells really should start ringing. Okay, you're here, great. They probably have done a little bit. Maybe if you think flat Earth's a little bit silly and you can disprove it because you think you know what you're looking at. But no, mate, alarm bells really should. These three things, what you see, that air pressure and the fact that you feel no spin on the spinning ball, think about that. They've hijacked your senses, mate. That's how deep it goes.
No, the spinning I still believe in because it's so big. It's so blimmin' the flat Earth, the globe Earth model
great scale
is so
negator.
blimmin' big that it's nearly as if you're moving in a straight line.
Sorry, just a quick question. Just a quick question again. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, bear with me a second. Just want a quick question to our new guest. Sorry to
realize we're not moving.
Bear with me a second, Chocolate. Just want to ask one more quick question. Sorry, just let me ask. Can I ask one more quick question? Clearly not. So, new guest, the model that you just referred to, would that be the same model that is broken?
The model, okay, that's broken.
Yeah, we went through it earlier and you conceded that either the model's broken or the Earth is flat. So are you now completely disregarding that your model's already broken? Or are we going to wheel out this broken-ass shit model to make a different example about Earth spin? Is that what we're now doing?
No.
Using a broken model?
If the model is broken, that doesn't mean that all of it is broken.
It is broken.
Some of it is wrong.
No, it is broken. It didn't work. Sorry, what do you call broken? It didn't work. Do you think that's working? It didn't work. That's broken. So it is broken. Now I'm asking why you're wheeling out this tatty-ass broken model that you've conceded is broken. It doesn't work.
Hey, mate.
Yeah, but look, an engine that you can't turn on.
No, we're not talking about an engine. Stop talking about engines.
Okay?
We're not talking about engines.
There's still a part that's working.
We're not talking about engines.
It's still doing something.
Hello?
It's just not working.
Hello?
As it
We're not
should
talking
because
about
it's broken.
engines. We're talking about your sphere model that is broken.
Broken doesn't mean all of it is corrupt.
It doesn't work.
Okay, but you realize there's no evidence for this part of your model either, right?
Sorry, say again, I didn't hear that.
This part of your model has also been disproved. There's no evidence for any rotation of the Earth.
Have you heard? Please, let me just get this thing out. Have you heard of the Michelson-Morley experiment? Have you heard that term or that phrase?
So I can't hear you very well. I think I've got internet problems.
Michelson-Morley?
It's getting a bit cut.
Michelson-Morley experiment and George Sagnac experiment. Have you guys heard of that?
Yes, we have.
Okay, no, I'm talking about the person who's a glober.
Oh.
Yeah, me. Yeah, sorry, I didn't catch everything you said in the past 30 seconds.
Have you heard of the Michelson-Morley experiment?
No.
Have you heard of the Sagnac experiment?
Neither.
Okay, what if I told you that all the Einsteinian bending space-time and time travel and all this crap was created because of that pesky little experiment in the 1800s? Please research
Relativity. Theory of relativity.
All of that was because of but Michelson-Morley proved that Earth is stationary. Michelson and Morley, they're two different guys. One was really good at creating optics, and the other one was a physicist. And they got together to determine the speed at which the Earth was supposedly going around the sun, and they wanted to measure that against the thing called the ether wind. And it failed to measure anything. It was zero. Okay, so that meant that the Earth is stationary, and that threw a big monkey wrench in the model until Einstein came with special relativity, not to be confused with the later general, with special relativity, and he said that, there's no ether. Problem solved. So you can't detect it going against the ether wind. And then George Sagnac came and created the same Michelson and Morley experiment, but did it on a rotating table. and he spun the table, and you could see what do you call the pattern? The light was refracting, or not refracting, but
Bending.
Diverging. No, the divergence pattern in the light. You could see little lines. Just look up, just Google flat Earth, Michelson-Morley.
Yeah, the ether.
flat
The
Earth.
ether is what stabilizes light.
Correct. Ether.
I just typed Michelson-Morley. Yeah, something with mirrors popped up.
Please just Google Michelson-Morley flat Earth, hit video. There's a couple of good explanations of this, and watch
Yeah,
it.
there's just YouTube demonstration of Michelson-Morley's experiment. So.
Correct, and Sagnac. You can create your own Sagnac experiment if you have fiber optics. If you just get a router and a couple of fiber optic lines and put them on it. There's a video of how you can do that with light, those fiber meters and a turntable. You can create all this yourself. Just look up. The Earth is stationary. It does not move. It doesn't go anywhere. It's stationary. It's been proven in 1800s. The only reason you have Einsteinian crap, which includes, time travel and all these paradoxes, all these crap, is because
no,
of
it's
that
science fiction. That's what it is.
Correct.
It's all theoretical possibilities based on those presuppositions about how gravity is supposed to function.
It was.
And math is the language that they use with that. Sorry, I just want to say that math is the language that they use to spin that web of lies. They can concoct anything within mathematics. That's why we call it mathemagics.
Correct.
You can make anything up out of it, like G. You can assert fantasy values.
Yeah, have you heard of Herbert Dingle? Herbert Dingle. Okay, look up Herbert Dingle. This guy was like Einstein's favorite little pet. He wrote BBC's obituary when Einstein died. Okay.
How do you spell that?
Herbert Dingle.
Herbert.
No, Herbert with an H.
Herbert. Oh, okay, Herbert.
Herbert Dingle. He used to write textbooks on relativity until later on in his life. He was like, this is all bollocks. I can't believe I'm peddling this shit. And then he tried to publish his paper, and he couldn't publish his paper, and so he had to write a book called "The Science at a Crossroads." Look that up. Science at a Crossroads. Michelson-Morley, Sagnac, and Herbert Dingle. Just do some research on these things, and don't go and read the Wikipedia. Look deeper.
And I want to suggest one too, because again, this is where you're going to hit a stumbling block. Is, well, why do they lie? How do they lie?
Yeah, that was about to be my question.
Well,
is it a lie or is it a mistake?
Wait, just look into there's great YouTube videos and there's some books. John Taylor Gatto, like Spanish cat, Gatto. He was a New York City public school teacher, and he got to a point in life where he just said, I can no longer abuse children anymore, telling them this rubbish. Okay? Look into the history of the education system. It came from Prussia at the dawn of the Industrial Revolution because our masters wanted us to be little cogs with just enough math and language to run and operate the machines, not because they love us or they care about us.
Mm-hmm.
Look into the education system, starting the history of the education system. It's not there for your benefit. Sorry, not really.
Well, what's it there for?
To train slaves.
Yes,
to train slaves to perform whatever task they need to be. Sorry, it's to train slaves to perform any task that needs to be performed. Yeah, you'll get a big pat on the back and a big paycheck if you do well. But at the end of the day, it's no different from like the slave trade back in America back 200 years ago. Apart from the whole world is now getting paid.
It's extremely different. Sorry, it's
listen to what I'm talking about. Yeah, apart from the fact that we are now paid. All right, we're not whipped and we're not living in slums, but the fact we are now paid.
Yeah, and we're free.
That's the paradigm that they kind of set around you. They make you think you are free. For Gordon Bennett, listen, just for a second. I already told you earlier that I've lied to you about what you see. Yeah, they've had to do that to stop you from realising that you are not living on a ball. They tell you lies about the air pressure that you breathe existing next to a vacuum, which cannot happen. And you can go down this path as much as you want. You're not going to find an answer to it. They've hijacked these senses from you. like my friend earlier was saying, they're not going to educate us in everything. They're not going to pass knowledge. Knowledge is power. They're going to keep that from us, and they're going to find ways to construct civilizations that keep us spinning around in what? Eternal debt, fret and worry. And like I said earlier, yeah, you might have a good life. You might get to be the CEO of a company and get a big pat on the back and a paycheck. Yeah, well done. You've done good in the system. You've just kept the story going. You've kept hope alive for other people to keep perpetuating the system. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, I mean, you said free come. I mean, I assume you live in the UK somewhere from your accent. Do you own a house? Are you into the adult world, or are you a college student?
No, I'm actually 17.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
when you
Oh,
get
baby boy! Oh my goodness,
adults,
you're only 17.
if you don't pay your taxes, I'm sure it's the same in the UK. If you don't pay your property taxes and your income tax, what happens?
Oh, mate, you go to court. Sorry, I'm in England as well. You go to court. They will come for you. If you don't pay your taxes, you don't pay your council tax bill, they will come for you. They will have letters and bailiffs, and you will be in court within
If you don't
28
vaccinate
days.
your children, what is it? What do you have? A child? What do you call it over there? Child CPS? What do we call it?
Well, if you don't vaccinate your if you don't do the compulsory vaccinations, you mean?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Compulsory
I've
vaccinations? What are you
got
talking
two
about?
children.
There are
I
no
found out
compulsory
about this a little bit
vaccinations
too
in the
late.
UK.
I've got lots of
Sorry, there are
friends who have children.
Sorry,
Vaccines
Ben,
are
can I
very
just-
prominent. You get letters if you don't vaccinate your children. It's becoming more and more the pressure on mothers in groups to get their children vaccinated by schools, doctors, nurses, all healthcare assistants. Yeah, it's right.
What's the
man.
problem with
Sorry,
that?
just to interrupt a second, there is no compulsory vaccinations in the UK.
None in the
No,
UK.
not compulsory, but
because
they will come for you.
I live in France actually, and there are some vaccinations which are compulsory.
Okay. I mean, they're definitely trying to push it in the West, and I mean, Asia. I mean, yeah. Like you can't get into public school. That's a great thing without vaccinating your kids. So you're.
Yeah, in Australia, that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're trying to push here in America, like, just I think they're up to 20-something vaccines as soon as the child comes out of the womb.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous.
Right. What's the problem with that? Vaccines work well.
And that's
You should
another.
see what's
What do you
in
accuse
the
vaccines of?
This is an entirely different subject,
That's
man.
different.
It's a
That's a
huge
different
research
case.
curve.
No,
This is
I
a
think
massive
the point I was
research curve,
trying
man.
to make is if you refuse to do things, there's a lots of punishments. Okay, taxes, property
Yeah.
tax, income tax.
Yeah,
Vaccines are becoming
that's what the laws are for.
Pressure. Putting pressure on you. You got to conform.
Do you know in Germany where the modern education system came from, Prussia? It is illegal to homeschool. Gee, now I wonder why oh, geez, I don't know. Why could that possibly be? That it is illegal.
Because probably a lot of parents who homeschool their children can tell a lot of bullshit.
Oh, really?
I mean that I don't.
Just out of interest,
I
sorry.
can see how you can find. I can see how you can
Just made
find
an
that
assertion. I just want to
is
cover
a
that.
potential problem.
You said that there's a chance that the parents might assert bullshit. So are you under the impression that the education system is under the obligation to tell the children the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should. Yeah.
Oh, really? Maybe you can help us out and find that law.
Yeah.
That's the illusion that they've portrayed.
Yeah, you're in the
truthful.
UK. Please find a law that I am obligated. Like a medical doctor takes a Hippocratic oath. Please find something like that with the education system. I would love to find it because that would fix a lot of stuff.
Find out who writes those textbooks, those universities, and who set them up. It's a long historical game. You're 17 years old, young man. You were born into this system. This system's been going for a long, long time. It's a big historical dig.
There's a reason why they rewrite textbooks instead of adding more to history and things of that nature.
And burn.
They rewrite them. Yes.
And burn.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they burn?
Destroy the evidence, write the new story, spread the story, enforce the
It's the
story.
same thing. It's the same thing with history. You can draw a lot of parallels with education, but we're educated in our history as well. You've heard about book burnings, and you know the old saying that whoever wins wars writes the history. So you have to dwell on these things as well. Just look at the world around you from your newspapers and your TV. Are they telling you the truth, or is it just propaganda? Or is propaganda just from the other side? Is that what happens?
Actually, don't even use the term propaganda, because he's in the Western sphere of propaganda equals communism equals bad. Marketing.
No. That's American. That's American.
Really?
Yeah. Thinking that propaganda equals communism. That's only American.
Really? So what do you call it? That's good, because
propaganda equals whatever you want it to.
I think in Europe, most people would say propaganda equals fascism, but I don't associate it with that.
No. Propaganda equals whatever you want it to equal. It's marketing.
Yeah, that's it.
It's also called
social conditioning.
That's what I would agree to.
Yeah,
okay,
it's going to sway your thinking. You can have propaganda about vaccines. You can have propaganda about politicians. You can have hyped up media about movies that are coming out.
The
So the same kind of thing.
The point I was trying to make is that propaganda is essentially the same exact thing as like public relations, marketing, advertising.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly that.
Yeah.
It's a story, and they will tell you this story however they can. It's usually through media outlets. It's going to be through your education in your textbooks and your university. It's going to be your comic books and, you know, your fantasy when you're a kid. They tell you about dinosaurs and UFOs and all these toys they get you to play with, whilst educating in this global paradigm and this evolution.
I always ask this question, Muppy, you seem to think science is equal to truth, and you know it proves things. So let me ask you, what scientific evidence do you have that you're a UK citizen? Is there some blood test I can do, or were you just told to be
scientific evidence that what?
That you are a citizen of the UK.
Scientific evidence.
Yes. It's interesting to find the cause and effect relationship in that one. Huh?
Well, you can make a hypothesis that I'm a UK citizen. Look at my British passport, and that's the observation, and that confirms your hypothesis.
So a piece of paper has somehow control over your biology, your blood, your genetics, your DNA.
No. DNA, genetics have nothing to do with nationality.
Okay.
Like,
So,
I mean,
bloods and
there
genetics have
are
quite a lot
people
to
that
do
come
with
from
that,
Asia,
don't they?
from Africa, from South America, who are
Right, but that's a
British.
piece of paper. It does not change your genetics. Like that's a good example. If I'm Chinese and I immigrate to the UK, does my blood change? Does my genetics change? Or do I have to go through a ritual and look at a flag and swear allegiance, and I get a nice little piece of paper saying you are now a British?
It doesn't influence your genetics. No.
So it's, again, a citizenship is also a belief, yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So now you can see that since school you've been given that belief. Maybe they belief about a ball as well.
Yeah, that was going to be
you can extend that to
question.
basically anything. Then you doubt about everything.
Yeah.
And there's a whole philosophical movement that, like in that same manner,
Don't say
avoids
nihilism.
to.
I know you're going to start leaning and say, "Oh, this is a nihilistic." No, actually, the ball is quite nihilistic. In fact.
Yeah, I've heard this discussion spun around a few times. The old nihilistic one. Yeah, it does definitely reflect more of a global belief.
What got you to come into this debate, my boy? Like, what made you?
I learned that people believed that the Earth was flat. I found that very strange. I thought, well, what makes them think that the Earth is flat?
We all felt.
No, it's not that we believe or think. It's just what we see. It's what we experience. We don't.
Okay, yeah, but for I don't say I know that the Earth is round. I say I think that the Earth is round. I say you think that the Earth is flat.
No.
Why do you?
No.
Hold on. Why do you
I've got to step in. Sorry, please let me get in. No. So we see stuff very far away and just say we see it. We don't have to say anything further to that. But you think you live on a ball, meaning you've got a religious belief you are on a ball. Therefore, when you see something at a long distance, you must assume the model's wrong. No need to assume a model at all. That's just you and your religious belief again.
Why do you think you're on a ball?
Because I was told that. And
yeah,
there you go.
And it has seemed pretty coherent for the rest of my life. Everything that has happened seemed to work accordingly.
Like what?
Think of it very
Hold on.
quickly like this.
Like what? Like what?
And that's a
Like
hell
what?
of a coincidence.
What worked
isn't it?
accordingly?
Yeah, like
Well,
Did the story make sense because you were really young when they started telling you it? And as you got older, you started learning more about the story that they were telling you?
no, he's going to start saying that's why we have sunset and sun. You know how they link it to these daily.
I want to hear
things.
what he has to say.
Yeah.
What worked? What worked? You said it was coherent with your day-to-day life. So what specifically?
There was never a problem. You see, something that contradicted that belief. Right, so I could
So what?
Except for the fact that they tell you you're spinning, but you don't feel it.
So, okay, so nothing contradicted it. So why, when we have an example where we just see something and say there it is, you're all about telling us how the model should work? Well, that's contradicting it, but yet you fought tooth and nail, right?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I did.
Sorry,
yeah.
what do you mean? That really annoys me. So, you assert that nothing's contradicted the globe. Then what do you know? Literally, in the last hour, I'm in the middle of talking. Shut your mouth. Why are you so rude? I'm in the middle of a sentence. Within the last hour, something directly contradicted your religious faith in this garbage. Yet, when it's contradicting it, you're fighting for your religious belief, not going, oh, hold on a second. No. Something's contradicting it. It's not working.
That's not how it happens, because you can't tell a Christian person God doesn't exist. You give I don't know if any one of you believes in God or not.
Yeah, this is another straw man, red herring. Yeah. We're not talking about God. Listen, we're not talking about God. We're talking about seeing a bit of land. That's it. It's just a bit of land. Let's not get all ethereal and talk about God. We're just talking about a bit of land we see. But we're not the ones saying, listen to our religious belief. You see the land, you just see it. We're not asserting any religious belief. We just see it. You come along and
what
tell
do you want to
us
say about God? Yes, you can't tell a Christian that God doesn't exist. Why?
You can't expect him to believe you instantly.
Right, you know why? Because he believes in God, and that's fine. It's a belief. I have faith. Good. See, unlike
this is a false comparison. Why are we having this argument? I'm trying to make the point that it makes sod all difference about God and whether or not you believe in something that you can't verify. When we're comparing it to something that we just see, don't need any validation for, no verification or maths required from our side of the fence, you are the one asserting a religion, not us. You're saying it's very difficult to convince a Christian straight away. Well, are you that Christian in this example? Or, undoubtedly, you're asserting that we're the bloody Christians with the belief? Because that's not the case. We just see it, no explanation. You see it and want to know how the model explains it. You are the one with the religious belief.
Right, can I speak to you? I can't say that what you think of the flat earth is a belief, because from what I've learned today, you seem to believe in very little, but doubt in a lot. So you believe in so little that it's very hard to say it's a belief.
But what's your definition of belief?
Sorry, hold on. What is it about a piece of land that requires belief on my side?
No, because seeing the piece of land...
Not no, but listen again. I see the land because it's there. Tell me where my belief lies.
Right, because you... Seeing...
Oh, you're struggling, are you? Everyone shut up. I want to hear this dick wrap his head round it.
Right, you were talking about being rude, so please don't be rude, okay?
No, you're a dick.
Nathan, he's 17.
I'm trying to be quite open-minded here, so don't insult me.
So answer my question. Answer my question then. Not hand wave dismissal, no. Listen to the question a third time and try and answer it. When I see the land, like my mouse, Where is my belief lying?
Right. Seeing the land shows you that piece of land is flat. Between you and the land, it's flat. Okay? That's your conclusion.
Sorry,
Well,
that
what?
wasn't my question. You didn't listen again.
We
Where
continue.
you have asserted that, like the
me
Christians,
continue.
we have a belief and it's difficult to get that belief to go on someone else. Listen
finish.
up.
Okay, so I'm
Listen
not going to
up.
put- I'm
That
not
means
going
be
to
quiet.
say- I'm
You
not
haven't
going
quite
to prove my point.
understood.
You're not going to let me
Listen
talk.
up. I know my questions are the most troubling.
It's
Where
not troubling.
does my
It's just you're not
belief?
giving the answer. And this is
Yeah,
being-
you're not
being
giving me the
about
answer. You
fifth
told me where
time.
there was no belief.
Something
I
very
know there's no
difficult.
belief. I'm asking you, who has asserted we have a belief that's difficult to swallow, where the belief lies when I look at that land. Don't tell me where it doesn't lie. Listen. Stop talking. You're really going to piss me off. Listen. Don't talk. Where in the land do I see is there a belief like you have asserted we have?
Right, let me continue. Okay? Do not interrupt me, or else you will not have an answer. Right, so you know that that piece of land between you and the land observed is flat. But that doesn't prove that what's behind that, what continues after that, is flat.
Have you finished?
And
that does not answer my question. I see that land. Where's the belief? Have I asserted anything about the land behind it? No, that's a straw man. So I ask it again for a 5th time. This is why you get called a dick. I've asked this 5 times. Where does my belief lie?
So, what did you conclude from you seeing that land?
I conclude I see it.
Right, so there's no belief.
No. So why would you assert that we're like the Christians and have a belief that's difficult to swallow?
Yeah, except I wasn't talking of that when I was saying belief.
I am. I am.
Belief.
That's the example we ripped you a new asshole with, you Dumbo. That's the example we gave you. What's the problem with that example? Oh, so you're going to ignore that example? Shut up. Shut your mouth. So you're going to ignore that example because it doesn't fit your religious belief? So that one's not counted. You're not talking. Shut up. So you're not talking about that example. No, we are. Idiot. So you're going to ignore it?
No. You said, what are you talking of when you say belief?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see land because it's there.
That's
the example you've had.
Me. Okay, so please listen to me. Right.
Why?
The point of this debate is
you've offered nothing. You've literally offered us nothing. Why would I have to listen to you? Don't make your demands that I listen to you.
Interrupting them.
No.
Okay? That's
You've
not
got
how
nothing
you
to offer me.
People. Listen to them.
Your tempestuous nature doesn't impress me, you little brat. No, I don't have to listen to you. No, you'll listen to me. That's what you'll do. You have a religious belief in this garbage, and when I point out that we don't have any belief about seeing the land, you stutter and mumble and tell me no.
No, I'm not stuttering.
So you still haven't quantified your assertion that we have a belief?
And I was saying the belief of yours is that the earth is flat.
Yeah, how many bloody times? There is no belief. I look at the land and see it because it's there. That's not a belief. I just see it.
Yeah,
that's why I'm asking you to qualify why you make that statement. I don't believe it's flat. Listen, you keep talking. You don't like this religious zealot. You're just a trumped up little tosser. Listen to me, you trumped up little tosser. I see the land because it's there. No further belief required. You have again asserted that I've got a belief. I ask you to assert where the belief is and qualify that statement based on land I just see, and you can't. But you still reassert that I've got a belief in the flat earth, don't you? No, I don't. You have a religious belief in an R value that you will put into your model. I don't need to do that when I see land. I have no belief. You keep asserting I do, and it's annoying.
Right. I'm not saying that your belief is that you see that piece of land. Of course you see that piece of land. It was in camera. I saw it with my own eyes, right?
Oh.
Now, I'm saying that your belief is you assuming that since you see that piece of land, the Earth is flat. Either
No,
I'm
that's
not
not an
understanding
assumption.
your
That's not an
conclusions
assumption.
correctly.
Sorry,
or you're not
hold
understanding
on,
what
hold
I'm
on.
saying.
Let's go stop you again.
Hold
I've got
on.
to stop
You let me
you.
finish.
Hold on, we
Then
did this on the
talk.
show and you still
Let's
haven't got it
talk.
through your head. So I
Jesus
hold up my
Christ,
mouse.
I'm talking. You do
Listen
not
up.
interrupt me.
Listen up, brat. Listen up, spoilt brat. I hold up my mouse. Is that a problem? Do I need to quantify why it's there and assume why I see it?
You're distorting what I'm saying.
Do I need to qualify why I see my mouse?
You are distorting what I'm saying.
No, it's a concrete noun. Mouse. Land. Concrete noun.
Not seeing the mouse. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you can't see that piece of land. Okay?
Yeah,
That's
can.
not what I'm calling a belief.
Yeah, it isn't. We just see it because it's obviously and observably flat.
Yeah, so I'm not calling that a belief.
Yeah, we haven't got a belief. You keep asserting we do, though. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Stop asserting that when I see something, that somehow that makes it a belief. It isn't. You are the one with the belief, not me.
From seeing that piece of land, you conclude that the Earth is not a ball, right? Do you agree?
No, I don't assume it's a ball to begin with. I don't need to quantify anything. I don't need to justify it in any way, shape, or form.
So what do you conclude from you seeing the land? Do you
I
not
can see
conclude
it.
anything?
I can see it. No further explanation required.
And you're not saying that the Earth is flat?
It's obviously and observably flat.
So you're concluding...
The point is that we don't have to say it's flat. We just see it and know that it's flat. And then somebody like you will come along and tell us it's not flat, it is curved. When we ask for that curvature, you guys pull out a calculator that tells us how much curvature we see when we don't see it.
Right.
That's the problem.
When we see something, the only thing... Listen. No, we don't think flat or ball. We see something, we think, I see it. Looks nice. Wonder how far it is. Should I go there? I don't know what flat, cube, triangle. No. We see it.
Everything else is told. You're not concluding anything at all from that. Why is this called flat Earth debate?
That's correct.
Well,
you don't need to conclude anything. The problem is that I just look at a bit of land and someone like you comes along and says, no, that land's not really there. What's actually happening is there's an Earth radius and Earth blocking the view of that land, so you can't really see it. It's being projected up from behind 700 feet of Earth curve. That's what's actually happening. It's a refraction effect. 7/6 of the begging the question radius that we haven't got any proof for. So until someone like you comes along, there's no consideration whatsoever. You just go, building, bit of land, mouse.
You do not believe in any shape of the Earth.
No,
right?
You don't seem to acknowledge what I say. Listen up again. It is obviously and observably flat.
What makes you say that?
Oh my god! Oh my god! The land that we see, the land that we see is just there. There is no explanation whatsoever for me, who says the Earth is obviously and observably flat. I don't need to give any explanation for seeing that land. You, on the other hand, if you could shut your mouth long enough, need to refer to your religious model, which says the land isn't there.
I'm not... Okay, forget about...
Look at it like this. If you look out a window and you see a landscape...
Let me talk for a second.
Moppy, just put it in a different context, maybe. If you look out a window at a landscape and you see trees with no leaves and you see snow-covered ground, do you need to believe it's cold outside or that it's winter?
I've observed there was winter.
Yes.
Right.
Would you start thinking that, oh, maybe it's actually hot? Because mirage. Do you need to believe it's winter outside or you just accept what you see?
No, you accept what you see. I agree with that. but I don't agree with what you're concluding. What
am I concluding?
What are the observations that make you say the Earth is obviously flat?
Have you ever looked out across a flat ocean and water? Have you ever taken water into account for your global argument? The way that water always maintains and finds its level.
Yeah.
Now that's very flat, isn't it? And all of these observations are over that flat water.
Yeah, we
the
see stuff
physics of
unobstructed
water alone just proves
at a huge
the
distance
globe
away.
Earth.
That's why I say it's obvious.
You understand that, right, Milky?
Don't forget that water's got to be curving and bending and stuck to your spinning ball by gravity. But when we look at it, it's flat, calm, flat.
We are staying stuck to, according to the globe model, we are staying stuck to the Earth because of gravity. And water is staying stuck in the globe model just also because of gravity.
Yes.
There's nothing different from that.
Really?
2/3 of the Earth's surface is supposed to be this curving water.
Went through
The
this
majority
earlier.
of our observations
We
are going
went
to
through
be
this
over
earlier.
water.
We covered
at
this on the show.
long-distant observation points like islands. There's no curved water.
Sorry,
You
we
go up
covered
in
this
an
on the show
aeroplane,
already.
your
Didn't we cover
horizon pretty
gravity?
much comes up to you. That's destroying your global argument in the first place because you're supposed to live in a ball.
No, because you're not getting the scale right. The globe Earth model makes the Earth gigantic.
Sorry, the globe Earth model doesn't make the Earth anything. That's a reification model fallacy. Bollocks. Just because the model says the Earth is whatever doesn't mean the Earth is anything. That's a reification fallacy.
Sometimes it's gigantic, sometimes it's not so gigantic, I guess. Just keep
Ships
shifting.
disappear over the horizon, but I can't go high enough to see the curve. I can't be in an airplane to see it because it's not there. But ships are still disappearing over the horizon, right?
Right.
The Great Scale Negator.
Ships going over horizon, small ball. I'm up in an airplane, no horizon, big ball.
Big ball.
Yep. Wait, maybe we're missing something. Maybe.
No, he said it all.
Maybe the Earth.
He said
maybe
the model
Earth
makes
dwarfs.
the Earth massive. The model makes the Earth massive. You think a model makes the Earth anything?
Model fits your dreams, doesn't it?
What I meant then, I'll rephrase that. What I meant is, in the globe Earth model, the Earth is massive.
That's
right?
interesting.
And it's so big that even from a plane, you can't see the curve.
That's lovely.
Hold on.
Yeah, we don't live on a model, though. The problem is we don't live on a model. We don't live on a model. We don't live on your model.
Stop interrupting.
Yeah, we don't live on your model. I don't care about your fantasy. Yeah? In Call of Duty, people get shot in the head. Does that make that reality in that model because people are getting shot in the head? No. That's just a model, right? Not reality. We don't live on a model. I don't care what your model makes Earth because it doesn't make Earth anything. It's just a model.
It doesn't make Earth anything. It's just
swap the word model for story.
Model everything. You can
swap the word model for story, and that's basically what's happening. In my story, this happens. In my story, that happens. It's just a story.
Yeah.
In my story, I've got butterflies that swing upside down on unicorn bellies.
I'm not going to change my vocabulary. Sorry. Now let me continue. The globe Earth. Yeah. If you consider you're in the globe Earth model.
No! Are you stupid? Are you really this dense? No, we do not consider ourselves in the globe Earth model.
Yes, I know.
Well then stop saying it! You're like a bloody Jehovah's Witness. You're on our doorstep saying you must accept our book. No, we will not accept that we're on the globe model. Don't say it again, you stupid little brat.
That is not what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what you exactly said. If we consider we're on the globe Earth model. No, we don't consider that, you idiot.
Yes, Okay.
If you consider it because you're a religious zealot. And you do consider it where we don't.
Right. Okay.
No, it's not fine. That's the problem.
You're saying, I believe in the globe Earth model. Okay?
Yes, you believe in a globe Earth model.
Right. And if the globe Earth model were true...
No, that's the bit we don't say, and you say because you have a religious belief in a globe model.
I thought... Sorry, just wait. Don't interrupt me. I thought you were saying if the Earth was flat, then I should see the curvature from a plane.
Sorry,
Is that not
what the bloody hell are you babbling about? If the Earth is flat, we should see the curvature from a plane. If the Earth is flat, we should see the curvature from a plane. What the bloody hell are you babbling about?
I think he's confused.
Confused
with the pizza dish.
Sorry. If the Earth was a sphere. So again, you are asserting your religious belief upon us.
Just outside of the 360-degree circle that you see. You see a circle from your... If you turn 360 degrees, you literally just look around in a circle. What? Do you see a triangle? Do you see a square? No, you're going to see a circle. But when does this circle of your vision turn into a ball? When do you start rising above this ball, and does that horizon line start dropping down like it should do? The dimensions of this Earth that we are supposed to be spinning on is set out. You are taught it. Yeah, I told you earlier that if you go down to the beach, I'm going to disappear after 3 miles. If I was 6 foot tall from your vision, if you're 6 foot in the air, that's because the spherical geometry dictates that. Now, I'd also pointed you to observations of 20, 30, 40, 50 miles away on a flat ocean. Now, I also told you to go up in a hot air balloon and told you that your horizon line is pretty much maintaining your eye level. Yes, you're gaining altitude, but it is not dropping away with the dimensions taught to us at school. That ball should disappear. It doesn't. That horizon line never drops down. It never shows curve. You'll see obstruction. Yeah, and we'll explain that obstruction and we'll walk you through it.
A sphere, whatever angle you look at it, always looks like a ball.
It always looks like 360. You can't make it look like anything else.
It looks like a circle. If you take a sphere in your hand, you always see half of it, and the outline is a circle, right?
So you can see it in 3 dimensions. So how's that sphere shaded? So you can tell that's 3 dimensions. It's not a circle, is it? Your senses, you're holding it. You know it's a sphere.
Yeah.
So when you get in a circle, when you turn in a circle into a sphere, I'm just talking about you as a person with your own eyes looking around you in 360 degrees. That is your circle of vision. That circle of vision will always remain to you personally. Go up in a hot air balloon, gain altitude, that horizon line will stay with you. It will not drop like it should do on a sphere.
Well, it goes further. It goes further. The higher up you go, the more you can see because less is obstructed.
Yeah, because the plane of the Earth disappears into the perspective of your eyes. It disappears into that horizon. The sky and the ground will always meet relative to you and where you are altitude-wise.
Mm-hmm.
The horizon doesn't stay at eye level.
Oh, God, it's P. Sorry, P. As soon as I hear your voice, I just go, oh, great.
Pete, at what altitude do we just see space? Please tell us what altitude.
No, don't engage P. Let's not lose
420 miles.
No, don't
just
engage
so that everybody knows, P Mars is live streaming this.
Of course he is. Do not engage P. Just go on with Mop Boy.
Yeah.
I've been working, nigga.
Don't start
Someone just kicked us.
What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, it's just
He's
a troll.
He offers nothing of substance, whereas you are engaging honestly and wrestling through the paradigm. So let me just say something real quick. What you just described about seeing things further as you rise in elevation is perspective. It is not seeing over a curve. You just described it. You said, well, this is what happens. And we're going to say to you, that's right. That's what happens when you go up in elevation. You see farther. You don't see around.
Yeah. It's just. I found the question was originally a bit strange. I didn't quite see. So, yeah, we're okay on that. We agree on that point. That doesn't prove it's a sphere.
I'd just like to try and point you back to your own senses, man, and this, what you see. And we'll explain to you this perspective and what Aries diffraction is, and you know how your eyes work and what you observe. The thing is, they've asserted this curve onto you, this obstruction. We get ballers in all the time saying this obstruction, no matter how big it is, what it is, where it is, that's the curve of the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, mate. It really, really isn't. This perspective argument holds so much water, and it destroys this curve. There isn't any.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it doesn't matter how high you go. You personally, with your eyes, your own eyes, won't see it. You'll get told. You'll get shown pretty pictures from space. You'll get affirmed as you go through school and as you're brought up in the education system, and then you start watching movies and start reading comic books, and at a young age, you're not asking these questions. These answers given to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, like if you, I know you're struggling with the lie, but listen, if you wanted to sell a lie to a mass population, do you think you could find 500 people to lie for money?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right. So how many people have been to space? Some purportedly, it's roughly 500. I don't know. You think it would be such a great feat to find 500 people if you have so many resources to just, yeah, I'm an astronaut.
Yeah, well, just a second. I recently went on a trip, on quite a big plane trip, and when we went in a straight line, it showed on the map because there were these screens in front of the seats. Showed a map, flat map, and even though we were going in a straight line, our trajectory was curved.
Yeah, what they show you on a TV screen is what they show you on a TV screen.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's a flat map. They always put an arc in it, and you know what that's for? To keep the belief going. Why would you?
Yeah. That means that there's not only 500 people. They're the people who made the software. They're the people who the pilots
do it that way. I mean, what's so hard about that? I mean, people make Hollywood movies. You say, yeah, here, make a ball on the movie screen. It's called Avengers.
I mean, it's not just a question of paying 500.
Yeah, but you just said it yourself.
It's also going to go back into historical arguments as well.
All they have to do is put it into the software, man. That's all they have to do.
Yeah, but imagine they paid these thousands of people.
This is a total tertiary issue. We should be focusing on the physics and the mechanics of our world, not on this issue. It's an issue that you can wonder about.
You're clicking. Who's rethinking? Their mic is terrible.
Travis.
Me. I can hear that. Okay. I really don't have much time left. I have to go soon. I've got one last question. How come, if the Earth is flat, we can't permanently see the sun? I've always wondered that.
Can't what?
See forever?
Can you repeat it? Sorry, say it once more time.
Various flat Earth sort of debates. People have said it's because of perspective, but that sounded ridiculous.
Well, it's the same reason you can't stand in California and see across the ocean and see Japan. You can't see forever.
Imagine you're lying on your back and you've just set a rocket off in front of your face, and that rocket disappears. It's going to fly off up into the atmosphere, and eventually it's going to disappear because it's too small to see.
Yeah, but
things at distance will eventually always become too small to see.
You don't see it too small. You see it go above below the horizon.
No, sorry. My demonstration, mate, was you lying on your back and you letting off a rocket, so it's disappearing directly vertical up from you. So you watched it.
Yeah, and then the rocket,
without any horizon or perspective issues. Just you watching something disappear. It's eventually going to get too small for you to see, mate.
Okay.
Now, when you're talking about lights in the sky, you have to understand the argument of, what light is, and does light carry on forever, or does light dissipate? Also, are you actually going to be able to see that light because of how far away it is? And we're told that these things are light years away.
The other issue is whether or not we're dealing with physical objects.
It's just lights in the sky.
Just a second. I'm talking. I'm really just talking of the sun, because we don't see the sun getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
That's right. Here you go. Right. Here you go.
Goes below the horizon. Right.
The reason. Okay, hold on. The reason why the rocket ship should be held in contrast is because the rocket ship is physical. Therefore, it diminishes in size. The sun, according to our eyes as we're looking at it, does not. Therefore, the question is that a physical object? Because our relationship with physical objects is the farther away they get, the smaller they get. Therefore, if the sun doesn't do that, at least as far as we are observing, that should cause us to question whether or not the sun is physical. So the issue that you're dealing with is physicality.
But we have
You
actually
were
seen the
saying
sun do
maybe
that,
it's
though.
not a physical object, which would explain why it's not behaving.
You gotta understand, we don't claim to know what the sun is, other than
You're giving options.
Look,
Is
up
that
until
right?
that point, you were doing really well. That was an exceptionally good question. And the answer, in reality, is none of us have got the vaguest idea what the sun is. Now, you guys on the globe side claim you know what the sun is.
Yeah.
So we can take apart your assertions about the sun, but when you ask us to explain how the sun is doing what it's doing, if you asked me, I'd say I haven't got the vaguest clue. It's an exceptionally good question. I'd love to have the answer. Great question. The problem comes when you start asserting that it's 93 million miles away, based on the radius of the Earth, based on a shadow someone saw on a light in the sky. That's all religious assertions. So up until that point, everyone's happy going, I don't know. I'd love to find out. Let's look at the sun in more detail. But we don't know. Reality is you don't know either. You've only got just so stories from your priests.
just muted. I think that really just triggered something. Wow. Saying I don't know.
And we have actually seen the sun grow smaller and disappear and fade out.
Yeah, it gets smaller when you get.
Doesn't it get smaller with altitude videos?
No, I know. Chocolate, though, would you agree that that is only due to apparati that assist our vision? If we're just looking at the sun with our own eyes, naturally, that was my point. That was my point.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's still whole things where the sun, like sometimes we get, I don't know what the name for, but we get those huge red ball suns. Like, what, did it get bigger? Like those rare, you've seen that big sun, right? So what, is it getting bigger? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think, hold on, guys. I think Anthony was on the show a couple of weeks ago and he demonstrated, or he showed a video, that when the air conditions were right and he gained enough altitude watching the sun at quite a high altitude, like above the clouds, the sun actually did get smaller and disappear into the distance, or was getting
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I was thinking that like pretty much every flight I've taken, like long distance, you know, Asia to Europe or the Americas, it does. I'm going to have to start. It seems like if I can account every time it got smaller or bigger, whichever way you want to, sunrise, sunset.
Yeah, I think it's definitely got something to do with air conditions and altitude.
Yeah, I've never seen that massive
sorry to
sun
interrupt
we
again.
experience.
Sorry, Eric. My poly said he had to get off, so before he does, I'll just drop of his own volition. Thank you very much for joining, and kudos, because you stood your ground against all of us. So big kudos to you. Props.
Oh,
yeah,
hey, you brought a tear to my.
I concur with that. I also want to say something else real quick. Like, honestly, I give you a lot of credit because, honestly, you're 17, and I wish that at 17 I started opening my eyes to these things the way you are. Like, I don't want to get too much into it, but yeah, it's cool that you're so young and you're actually at least exploring these ideas because it's important.
Yeah, well,
especially because we're just being lied to and on a consistent basis, and it really has to stop. And to see somebody as young as you trying at least, and like Nathan said, you did a good effort, man. So kudos to you.
Yeah, I just want to know the real truth, and there being no doubt about it in the end. That's just it.
We can't. You're not coming across very good.
Oh, do you not hear me very well?
That's better.
Okay, yeah, I just said that the one I want in the end is just to know the real truth, and there to be no doubt about it at all.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!